on my advert placed on radio.
You said you wanted a good place to showcase your products now.
Yes. Someone told me about Today95.1 FM and I said I should call.
Okay, just come to Today95.1 FM. I beg, they read news now, thanks.
On my way.
Sorry for that break. Still on the news, Governor of...
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Speed drive? Come on, go to the racetrack. You want to smoke? Not on the steering wheel. You want to drink alcohol? Don't do it on wheels. Go to a bar and don't drive afterwards. Seat belts are not for fancy. They're there to save your life. Know your traffic rules and obey them because they are for your own good. Drive with care because life is dear.
Some people will carry human head in their boots and they will not charge them because they are collecting bribe.
When they go collect salary, then go say government need to pay them way.
All these taxi drivers safe. They don't even get papers. Even driver's license safe, they no get.
Hey you, back there. Hold on there.
Their cars are in bad shape. Very, very bad shape. They have no ethics of driving. That is why they will continue to bribe so that they can have their way.
I go shoot you now. I go shoot you. Headlight, you no get. Side mirror, you no get. Motorway to where carry animal. Now you take put for road to carry human being. You don't even wind the motor when rain they fall. You no get conscience at all. Take, you be number 15. You be number 5. More than no forget on a number.
Let's allow them do their job.
Do not obstruct justice by giving or taking bribe. Avail yourself a check. Even you, Oga driver, stop reckless driving and always update your papers. This information
is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM,
voice of the people.
Officer, give me change. Now 1,000 I give you.
I'm not here too tight to announce us office for this place.
Abobe, march down, Moko, come on here.
Madam, now so you dey rich. How you go chop banana finish, wrap am for nylon, put am inside your bag? When you dey close to window, you no fit throw am now. Abeg go, now so you dey rich.
Abeg, make I calm down.
Don't you know that banana peels are slippery? It can actually cause an accident. And moreover, you are not supposed to throw things on the road. You should pack your rubbish until you get to a trash can where you can dispose it properly. We all have a responsibility to keep the state clean. Keeping the state clean will help stop the spread of diseases and leave our city looking beautiful. So, Oga and Madam, let's stop dumping refuse anyhow on the roads. Let's join our hands together to keep our state clean, to keep River State clean.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt.
Here at Today, we bring you what you need to hear.
This is what they're going after. They're not going to
let me learn it has to be applicable to all situations.
No, it cannot be because when the evidence...
Some people are not sure of 1 meal a day in a society with such huge potentials.
If a criminal passes that place, whichever means he used in passing, and you turn around to blame the citizen, for instance, people will ask you, were you not there?
Malaria kills Nigerians. Malaria.
News.
This is the World News. I am Annie Abdul Salam. In the headlines, Federal Executive
Sports and entertainment.
My name is Shubogu Najib. Straight up to football on the show.
This is Today. Every day, 24/7, 365. We are your official all-year radio station.
Why do you leave me at this point in time? Oh my God. In my life now. I couldn't do a thing like that to me. What on earth did I do to
this? Suicide is a practice that is fast gaining dominance in Nigeria. Suicide is the intentional act of taking one's life. Within the first quarter of 2017 alone, many Nigerians have subscribed to suicide as a means to escaping depression, severe anxiety, acute stress, terminal diseases, lack of money or hope for survival, mental disorder, or even a heartbreak. The World Health Organization revealed that no fewer than 1 million people die annually from suicide, which represents a global mortality rate of 16 people per 100,000, or 1 death in every 40 seconds. It is also a fact that approximately 10 to 20 million people attempt suicide every year. But is anything worth dying for? Suicide is a major public health concern, but it is preventable. Talk to someone when you feel depressed. You can also prevent others from a suicide attempt by contacting the Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative on 080-621-06493 or 080-921-06493. Choose to live today because life is beautiful. This message is powered by your premium talk radio, Today95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Every child deserves to be happy. Every child deserves to laugh. Years after Nigeria adopted international prohibitions on child labor into law, millions of children in the country are still engaged in child labor activities. The International Labour Organization estimates that about 25% of Nigeria's 80 million children under the age of 14 are now in the workforce. Every child deserves a childhood. Let us all rise in every hood to give every child, regardless creed, belief, or tribe, a pleasant childhood filled with laughter. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people, Today 95.1 FM.
Thomas Edison, who lived from 1847 to 1931, was quoted as saying in 1890 that non-violence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Encourage peace in the city and report violence. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not harm. Thou shalt not be violent. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Peace is a situation where there is no war or violence in a society. Peace allows wealth to accumulate and the society to advance.
Through peace, generations of wealth, education, technology can build up, thereby making people very prosperous and happy.
Without peace, there will be violence, war, and underdevelopment in our society. The most disadvantageous peace is far better than the most just war. Let us embrace peace for a better society.
This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM.
It's what I pray for. All around the world. It's what I pray for. For my
Every day on Today 95.1 FM, there's always an opportunity to comment and air your views on our various programs. It's not just about us, it's about you, your opinion, and your voice.
President, don't you think that it's time to step down, sir?
Be part of the story, the gist, reactions, intrigues, and the news.
President Neil Patrick Harris has called for greater regulation.
Give us a feedback or join the conversation on Twitter at TodayFM951. Our Facebook address is Today95.1 FM, or join us on the number 0701-933-9962. That's our WhatsApp application. Be informed, be educated, and have fun. We are Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon, and you are welcome to today's Hustle here on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. My name is Ifeemi Andrew, and the time now it's 15 minutes past 1 o'clock. Okay, make that 16 minutes past 1 o'clock. This lovely Wednesday afternoon, the 17th of April. How are you doing? How's lunch? How's work going? I'm pretty sure you're having a great time. Well, we're here on radio to ensure that we even make your time today better. That's what we do. And how do we do that? We bring you required information. We allow you to react to a lot of the things happening around you in the country that are political or government related. We all know that when we read the news or when we listen to the news, hear the news, we want to react. We want to say something because we have our own thoughts about some of the issues going on. But then you don't get the opportunity to. That's why we created this, Today's Hustle. It's so you can effectively react and make your own voice heard via this platform, talking what you think is wrong with the system and government. Well, with that said, let me start off by telling you that we have some interesting things to talk about 4 of them, and we are going to quickly run through these and then open the phone lines to get your comments. And also, on the second half of the show, we have a focus on a very sensitive issue. And we will be speaking with a security advisor on that, a security expert, rather, on that. He would be coming up to us on the show via telephone and sharing his own opinions with regards to what we would be discussing on the second half of the show. So it's really going to be fun and revealing as well. So do not touch your dial. To start things off now, it's good news for a lot of us who have been job hunting. If you are interested, we know that the NNPC started recruiting some time ago. Well, now Customs have begun recruitment and they are ready to employ 3,200 personnel. I saw the number of people they are seeking to employ, and I say we are going to have trouble on our hands. Remember the last time they tried to? Some people even lost their lives. That was in the past administration. It wasn't really easy. And now in a country where unemployment is very high and is growing exponentially, and then you want to employ as a government agency and the most you can take is 3,200, that's not even solving anything close to the problem we have with unemployment. But then again, it's better than nothing. All right. So the Nigeria Customs Service made the announcement yesterday, says that it's commencing its recruitment exercise beginning from midnight today. So you could just get ready for it. The Controller General of the NCS, Colonel Ahmed Ali, stated that within the next 3 weeks, the organization would be seeking to recruit 3,200 officers and men to fill existing vacancies. Ali was represented by the Acting Deputy Controller General, DCG Human Resources Development, Sanusi Umar, who disclosed that the recruitment exercise had secured the approval of the Federal Executive Council, FEC, and is in compliance with requirements of the Federal Character Commission, FCC. Remember, that's how the NNPC came and said, okay, they were, and they brought up issues. And Falana was one person who sued for it and said the method in which you're trying to do this recruitment is somehow indirectly depriving a couple of other people who might want to work for this organization to lose that chance. and he feels every Nigerian should have a right. I think the age they said your experience, then the age, if you are above a certain age, you shouldn't apply. If you're below a certain age, you shouldn't apply. And those things kind of limited the chances of many people who might have wanted to try to get that job. Well, you can try for the customs now. Midnight today, they are going to start. And you can actually do that by logging onto their website. If you're listening, you can log onto their website, www.vacancy.customs.gov.ng. www.vacancy.customs.gov. That's GOV.ng. That is the website you can log on to if you want to apply for to seek that employment into the customs service of the country. Thank you very much. Now that out of the way, let's get on to even more interesting issues. It's concerning PMS, petrol. And this is really, really interesting. Now, Kachiku has come out to give us some sort of explanation to what we have. It's very interesting. And then if we find it difficult now to believe every word that comes out of the mouth of the man because of the many promises he made, and none of them came to fruition, and he never even went back to apologize to say this was the reason why these things may not have happened, even though we wanted them to happen. I think that kind of reduces the trust people have in the words that he says. But regardless, if you're looking for an authority to explain to you the situation in the petroleum sector, it is the man you go for. The reason is because he's a minister of state and it's the person in the perfect position to give an explanation. So this is what he says. He says that the landing cost of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, is 35 naira higher than the pump price, which is 145 naira per litre. Kachiku said that the rise in global crude oil prices after the 2016 hike in petrol had to result to bringing back subsidy. So in other words, he's saying that they had to bring back subsidy from 2016. Is that what he's saying? Or 2017? Recall the experience of 2016 when the government increased petrol price from 86.5 naira to 145 naira after months of severe scarcity. He described fuel subsidy as an emotive issue. I quote, "You have a very positive argument that says, why is this happening? Let's get it out. Once you do it, the streets get flooded by protesters. You have 5 or 6 or 10 days of no activity in the country. So any attempt to remove the subsidy must be very well managed," he says. Now, it brings us back to 2016. Let me take our minds back. I do not recall him saying that they were paying subsidy. In fact, I recall them saying that subsidy wasn't being paid. That was at 2016. Subsidy wasn't being paid. And now there's also the branding of saying the kind of subsidy paid now was not the kind of subsidy paid then. Anyways you put it, subsidy is being paid. One way or the other, we're paying subsidy. And the vice president acknowledged that subsidy was being paid, and then he suggested that there was going to be a gradual removal to stabilize things so that we don't have panic if it's removed all at once. According to Bay, he said that in 2016 the government wrote to the NLC and all the trade unions, adding that meetings were held with the security apparatus. I quote, "Even when there was a consensus on how we are going to do it, we still had an issue at the very tail end of the moment. Nupeng and Pengaston supported, but of course the other members of the trade unions pulled out. Eventually, thankfully, Nigerians saw through what we were trying to do and let it happen. And thank God that happened at the time, because when you look at the gap today, the landing cost is about 180 naira per litre. And sale price is 145 naira per litre. So who's going to pay the subsidy of over 25, okay, if I'm not mistaken, 35 rather. So who's going to pay the subsidy of 35 naira? That's what the government handles. That's the excess on top of the 180 naira, which is landing cost. Imagine if pump price was 90 naira something, we'll literally be a bankrupt country, because if it was, it means the government will be paying more than 35 naira as subsidy. So, but this wasn't said before. That's the point. The minister added, and I quote, "The point I'm making is that anything you are going to do on subsidy requires a very efficient management of information, getting everybody who are stakeholders to tie into it." And my big question now is, with what is happening in the oil sector, do we believe when Kachiku says that whatever you do, the information should be out there for everyone to be involved and every stakeholder carried along. That's another point, because as long as Nigerians are concerned, or as far as they are concerned, we really do not know too much happening in the petroleum industry. Truth is, it is said to be one of the most corrupt sector of the country's economy, which is the leading part of the country's economy, of course. And it says it reeks of corruption. Well, recently I was seeing on the news that some companies, a witness that was brought in to testify in a case going on in court, was talking about how some people swindled the government of huge amount of monies, all in the name of subsidy. And it gets me to ask, who is responsible for investigating, carrying out the investigations that the government should carry out before they pay? It's the prosecution witness by the name of Chidi Nweke. He was telling the Federal High Court that was sitting in Apo, Abuja, how Adegbite Adetoye and Ponle Abiodun, two directors of Origin Oil and Gas Limited, lied and defrauded the federal government to the tune of over 735 million naira in subsidy scam. The matter resumed hearing yesterday, before Justice Silvanus Orji and operatives of the EFCC led in evidence by the prosecution counsel. So we have these things happening, but then I asked the major question, which is the ultimate. The government is in charge completely, whether they like it or not. When we blame anybody, who makes the payment? You. So you should be able to put in a system that works and a system that would checkmate, so people can't just come in with figures. It was, for instance, when the NNPC was coming out to say that the production was not happening in the country, the refineries were not working, and monies that they needed to be paid. And the assembly looked at it and said, you cannot say it wasn't working, because you say it's not working optimally. So you had production to a certain level. So for that production for a certain level, who is accounting for that and who's paying for that? These questions aren't being asked often and on, and hence you get people take advantage of the government and get monies that, we're not supposed to be gotten by them. Anyways, back to what Ibe Kachiko was saying. He says, should we deal with the removal of subsidy? Huge question. I was gung-ho when I assumed this position, that there was no way I was going to tolerate a subsidy regime at the time in 2015 of about 1.2 trillion to 1.3 trillion naira, where there was just no way. We didn't have the capacity to continue to pay. So I convinced the president that this needed to happen. Thankfully, he listened, we agreed, and we did. Now, we then had over recovery period for quite a while, and then we went into this upswing in prices that has now taken us again into another recovery. Okay? So are we saying that there isn't another plan we can put in place that would not make us depend on the price from international community? This is the truth. And that simple solution is getting all the refineries to function. How easy can that, how difficult can that be? Ibe Kachiko, with all the brains and all your suggestions, why can't you see that we need to get the refineries to function? And why isn't he talking about how he needs to get them to function? Remember, he has been saying before now that the refineries are going to get functioning sometime last year, sometime the year before last. And now we're in 2019. We still don't have our refineries at optimal production ability. And that should be a problem, shouldn't it? Well, but that is what Ibe Kachiko is telling us with regards to what we have with the fuel situation in the country. We're aware of it. I don't think I have to further protest that. We all know that in the country at the moment, even though the NNPC and the Minister for State Petroleum is saying we have enough product, we still don't have it going round as we expect it to be. Some people sell at 160, some a little above 145, and there's still the complaint that there's not enough product going around. Who is lying? Who's telling the truth? Time will tell. So let's leave that one now and get on to something else. And this is also very interesting. It's concerning the election petition tribunal for the presidential elections. And we know that Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the PDP, did well to file in his petition and requested that he be given access to some sensitive materials. The court said, okay, you can, and instructed INEC to allow him, get his hands on those documents. I remember the last time the PDP complained, and himself as well talked about the fact that the INEC has not given him access to some of those documents. And in fact, he came out to say one time that he actually won the elections by over something close to over 1 million votes. And after he made that statement, a response was supposed to be made by INEC, because he says INEC server actually proves that he won. INEC now replied and said that, well, their server, they don't have that server. So they don't know where he got that from. Perhaps they created the site and the results. And I also asked my questions, and I think you should ask your questions as well. So when INEC said they didn't have a server, I was saying, so the card readers we use, what records the information of how many people vote via card reader? Because the INEC said that was the only thing that they would want us to use, card readers and card readers alone, and they boasted of how well the card readers were functioning. Don't also forget that before now, Mahmoud has come out to complain about the electoral process. He complained just I think last week, myself and Emmanuel Ondukwe were talking about it in the studio, how he complained and some of the things that INEC found out before the elections. And the question we asked was, if you knew all of this before the elections, why did you continue with the elections? Well, now, Atiku Abubakar is responding to INEC. And this is what he said. He's now thinking of employing Microsoft, IBM, and Oracle experts to testify that he defeated President Muhammadu Buhari by over 1.6 million votes. He gave the server name as INEC Press RSLT SRV29 and its unique MAC address as 9457A5DC64B9 with Microsoft product ID 0025277. 70,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 in his fresh response to the reply of INEC to his petition. Now, there's something distinct. If you're an ICT person, you know certain things are very difficult to make out. A MAC address and the ID, a product ID, those things are very peculiar. So if at all he's telling the truth, I think INEC would have to surrender those materials so people can go through them and confirm. Well, we'd have to see how this one plays out, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really interesting for everyone. The reports from Newsman says Atiku and the PDP will also be expected to tender INEC's training manual on elections, a printout of the votes of candidates from smart card readers, and a printout of the forensic audit report on INEC's server as evidence. The former vice president and the PDP claim to have polled a total of 18,356,732 votes to beat the president, who they say polled 16,741,430 votes. INEC's Director of Information and Communications Technology, Mr. Chidinwafo, in his witness statement and oath attached to the reply, specifically denying the server results, which the PDP and Atiku claimed. He said all the results were collated manually and never transmitted electronically. And that's where my questions came in too. If INEC is saying that there was no electronic transmission of results, which is true because they said they weren't going to do that, then I asked myself, how would they have counted the votes that we get from the card reader? When you vote using the card reader, how would they have counted it? If you accredit using the card reader and all of those, how would we, because they said that they were going to use only card readers, so how would they have been able to, what records the data that gets into the card readers? What records it? That's the question I asked myself. There was no transmission electronically to a central server, but you can't, is it possible to say that those card readers are not linked to any server? Big questions, and we'll need you guys to react pretty soon. Phone lines will be coming up in any moment from now. Atiku in his first response said the figures he claimed to have scored were genuine. The reply reads in part, I quote, "The servers from which the said figures were derived belong to the first respondent INEC. The figures and votes were transmitted to the first respondent's presidential results server 1 and thereafter aggregated in INEC. He gave the server number, whose physical address or unique MAC address he gave that to. With Microsoft product, he gave the number. The descriptions are unique to the first respondent server." That's the statement from Atiku. All right. So where does that leave us now with this situation? How is the court going to handle this? Don't forget that there's still been the complaint that they've not been allowed to access some documents from INEC office. And we'll leave that and get on to some good news for the APC, perhaps. Finally, they have adopted the majority leader of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, to be candidate for the position of Speaker in the 9th Assembly. We know that some members from the Northeast have been pushing for a woman from the East, Southeast to, get into that position. But, well, now we know where the APC stands at the House of Reps. But for the Senate, we still do not know where they stand. Femi Gbajabiamila is the candidate they are choosing. So let's see how that one will play out. We'll go to the phone lines now and get your contributions. 0817 000951, 0817 000951, or 08109510 951. Hello, Today95.1 FM. You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Temple. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Temple, go ahead.
Yes, I want to look at the issue concerning fuel subsidy. Yes, I can remember how many promises this man, Ibe Kasuku, made to Nigeria that in 2019 that Nigeria will stop importing petroleum. I remember how many times this man came on air and promised Nigerians all sorts of a lot of things in petroleum sector. He gave us hope. He gave us many things that will make us to rejoice that yes, from now to 2018, 2019, they'll be not talking about importing all this nonsense subsidy. Look at how much we are spending, my brother, and weeping for my people. We are going to buy fuel at the age of 180 naira. We have crude oil. We only to do refinery so that all those things we can benefit. We can see we can enjoy for the miracle of what God gave us. Where are we going? Are we still calling ourselves Nigerians? That is why I support Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. Hello to the 95.1 FM. And remember that you can also take advantage of our SMS portal. It is 0701-933-9962. That's our SMS portal. Send in your text messages to that number. We'll be taking them on the show. But if you want to contribute live, you can call our studio lines. Hello to the 95.1 FM. Hello to the 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is John from Malo.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. Concerning the fuel issues, I think this exposed the level of insincerity in the aspect of the APC government. Because the difficult promises they made and the completing actions or positions from the part of the NNPC boss and that of the vice president concerning fuel subsidy, it becomes clear and obvious that these persons are not sincere and honest to Nigerians. And it shocked my imagination that we are still discussing about this again because it is quite plain and clear that there is no single element of truth or honesty in the fact of the assertion or their positioning to the Nigerian populace. So we just have to wait and see what come up. Whatever come up, we have already allowed them to be in terms of governor. So whatever pains or miserable punishment they give to Nigeria, we just have to adhere. That is on that. And on areas of Atiku's position concerning the election, let's see how the drama goes. Let them not preempt the court. So the court will have to give the final verdict or whatever will come up. But it is quite obvious that the card reader was part and parcel of an electoral process. So any data discharge from the card reader should be authentic enough to be used in the tribunal. So let's wait for the court and see what the court will.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's also remember that the card reader is not in our electoral act. That's another thing we should consider. And I keep asking myself the big question: if it's not in our electoral act, why do we use it? Hello, today 95.1 FM.
Yeah, hello, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I am Mufasa and I'm calling from Port Harcourt. Hello.
Go ahead, Mufasa.
Yes, you see, Ibe Kashuku has already said it, that the issue of subsidy is an emotive issue. But I know for a fact that until we start refining our crude, you see, the issue of payment of subsidy can never go away unless we are ready to buy fuel at the rate that has been stipulated as what they call the landing cost, because they cannot import fuel at 180 and expect them to sell it below 180. So I think the solution is just flying in the wind. I think we should, on our own, start, refining our oil. I think that would be the solution to our problem. But having said that, you see, Atiku Abubakar saying that he has got to meet Microsoft, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and those other people to, buttress his point that he has evidence that the server of INEC indicates that he won the election. Andrew, I can tell you for free, I can take it to the bank that, you see, this issue of card reader, it is a very big problem. Because when you talk about card reader being used in an election, 40% of the people that voted in this election did not use card reader. When you look at those rural areas, those places, those riverine areas, the card readers did not work. So how are you going to now, reconcile this figure? So article to me is on a wide goose chase. Nothing will come out of this because the card reader, like you rightly said, is not even in our, electoral act. So you can come and start telling us that we started voting electronically. Nigeria does not, do electronic voting. So it brings Steve Jobs or it brings Bill Gates or it brings, nothing is going to come out of it. It should come up with another argument to argue its way through. But Buhari has won the election. He should just forget about it. But he's within his right to go to court. But the issue of electronic voting, that will not be admissible in court. That is my own position.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew.
All right, you're welcome. Good afternoon.
Okay. This is IB.
IB, go ahead.
I've said this time with that number that this is the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is filled with substitutes. Those substitutes are deceivers. I've said this time with that number that these people cannot promise us anything and we achieve it. This is same Ibe Kachuku who supported the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo in promising the Niger Delta region that is going to build a modular refinery in order to ease this problem of fuel scarcity and fuel subsidy. Where are they? We not in 2015 and 2019. Where are they? You don't even see them. Now you are telling us, you are opening your mouth to tell us that the landing cost is $280. So what? Do you know what we saw from the initial stage of former President Goodluck Jonathan that we said if we should remove the subsidy and buy fuel for the rate of 140 naira? And you people went ahead and campaigned and do what they call block Aso Rock or block Nigeria, Nigeria, and Lagos and Ojota, so forth and so on. See, they should not deceive us. On article issue, my brother, we know the technicalities in that area, so let me not preempt the report because the case is subsidy. Okay, bringing expatriates from somewhere and so forth and so on, it should not come into full. We know the technicalities that is going to bring everything down. So let us not preempt the court. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. All right, what's that call? Lines are open, 0817-0000951 and 0810-951-0951. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, Andrew.
Lawson, you're welcome.
Please, let us get one fact clear. The only way that this petroleum issue will stop is if our refineries are working. I said it earlier.
Exactly the question I asked. I said, Ibe Kachuku giving all these ideas. Why hasn't he seen that is what we need to do and then work towards doing that? I mean, he's made the promise a couple of times.
That's the problem. Ibe Kachuku wants to fix it, but the National Assembly refused.
How?
The people forget that because the only way for our refinery to work is to concession it. The government concessioned the refineries. They were in the process of concessioning the refineries to add it. The Senate rejected it. Why is it that people are not looking at that? The Senate rejected it. That no, they are going to look into it again. Till today, they are still looking into it. These refineries cannot work under civil servants, under this public servant. It cannot. You have to concession it. That's what the government did. And the Senate rejected it until today. They've not come up. You forget that it's democracy. When the president proposed, the Senate can decide to accept or not to accept. When the Senate was doing all of that, most of us were clapping hands for them. Now look at the problem. Look at the problem. Then secondly, I don't understand when Atiku said in INEC server, Andrew, if I begin to quote a figure in a server, in a bank or in central bank, what does that mean? It simply means I have hacked into it, you understand, or I have criminally gone through, you understand, in an illegal way to see it.
So he ought to be arrested for saying that. Because the server is not a public thing, it's an INEC property. Only INEC can come out and tell you what is in their server. When someone comes and says, so thing is in your server, the question is, how do you know? How do you have access to it? The only way is to hack into it. That means they hack into INEC server. You understand? And so the country has a law for it. So he should be arrested and tried for saying that. Honestly, for saying that,
right,
it means that he has hacked into it. And then again, the positions, like I've always said, in the National Assembly, the party in majority will always produce the leader. The other day, somebody was arguing, how do you zone, you understand, the position of speaker to Southeast? You know how many senator, House of Rep members that were elected on the platform of APC in Southeast? Do you know, out of 30-something, you have 2, 3, and you say zone it to that place? No, that's not politics. That is not how politics is played. I think they've done the right thing to zone it to Southwest, because that's where they have a lot of members, you understand, from the House of Reps.
Thank you very much. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. You're welcome.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Andy, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to speak on the fuel scarcity.
Okay.
You see, we are having a very big problem. This man, Ubekachi, is a very intelligent man. He has everything, but in my own perspective, he's serving under a government that has not much clue about the problem at hand. The only solution we have is to build a refinery. Remember, in 2015, because Nigerians, it seems that we have trouble. President Buhari promised Nigerians in 2015 at Lagos campaign rally, if you have this thing, you play it, that he will build a new refinery. Where is the new refinery up to today? We don't have, even the old ones that we are even working at very minimal capacity has gone down, has totally deteriorated, has totally degenerated. Now we are suffering when there is high cost of crude in the international market. Nigerians will start to suffer on the crude that God gave us freely, because we have very rudderless and clueless leaders. So the problem we have is to build a refinery. Build even one. How much does it take? All this money that are recovering from EFCC, from EFCC, recovering from corrupt politicians, all this borrowing of money. The last time we are talking about how much this government has borrowed. That money is not enough to build even 2 or 3 refineries. Today we don't have even one. We continue to tell the same story. And the promise will change. This was the story PDP was telling. APC came now. In fact, my brother. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I want to talk about Atiku's claim about winning the election through INEC server.
All right.
You see, I'm
your name
so
first.
Surprised that Mr. John calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, John.
You see, when you look at the claim of Atiku, you see that he has no case at all. How can you say you win a case, you won an election through INEC server, that you have the results? Who gave you the results? And how, in what way did you win? Do we submit our results through server or through transmission, electronic transmission? And we were all here that we all know that INEC use both manual and the card reader accreditation to accredit voters. So when did we start using only the card reader as accreditation means to vote during election? So it's very ridiculous. That claim is very ridiculous. And look at the figures he's dishing out: 18 million for himself and 16 million for President Buhari. When you look at these figures, the total number of accredited voters is 28 million. So it means if you put the two figures he has dished out, you have 34 million votes, which is larger, far larger than the total number of accredited voters. In that aspect alone, he has even lost his case. So I don't think his lawyers are doing a nice job. And again, they are all aware that everything that has to do with card reader is not even in our electoral laws. It's not recognized. is unknown to our electoral laws. That Kuku and Wike case is a very recent case. You know, I don't know. This kind of thing, even me, myself, I'm not a lawyer, but looking at this case, I've seen that he has lost it from the beginning.
Okay.
Then going to the fuel scarcity in Nigeria is the only solution, just as some callers have said, is just for us to let our refineries to start working, but not even the old ones, build new ones. And I'm very much aware that some modular refineries are coming up very soon. They are in the process of they are building some, one in whether Delta or Bayelsa, and it's coming. And again, the Dangote refinery is going to start working very soon, before the end of this 2019. So there is hope for Nigeria. So people should not start talking as if there is no hope. Had it been all the previous administration have worked hard in instituting modular refineries, by now we won't be in all this mess. So let's give the government a chance. They are working hard, and Dangote on his part too is doing very well in that regard. Very soon all these challenges will come to an end. That is my belief. I still believe in Nigeria, no matter what happens.
Thank you very much for your contribution on the show. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, Andrew. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, my name is Steve Igbo. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Steve.
Please, may I touch on the area of this refinery? Please, who is the Minister of Petrol in Nigeria now, please?
President Muhammadu Buhari.
Good. Well, it was screened by the Senate, or was it screened by the Senate? No, it wasn't. And does the Senate have any audacity to call in to answer why we're having this problem in Nigeria now?
Well, if it's as in the capacity of the minister, they can. And I think they've done that once, asked them to come and give reasons why we are in the situation that we're in. Well, but then you could send the Minister of State, which is somebody you can also talk to on those issues.
Okay, then the Senate has to do the needful, because we can't wait until we're out drowned before we start looking for who will come and the divers to remove us from this drain. The Senate do their needful by inviting the man, explain to us this is the situation, so that this accusation, if Kechukwu is saying this, it's not saying that tomorrow he say this, so I get a clear picture of what is on the ground. If he's not in capacity to act as a minister, you should please tell his boss, say, look, this is the only me, and I cannot handle it. Please come and handle it, so that we are Nigerians, we are stakeholders in this thing. Let us be suffering much, so are able to put us out of this dilemma. So please, and I want to, I'm sorry, a little indulgence. You know, this essence of this program is from us. We learn, not somebody. Don't call it. When a caller, most of us are listening. We learn one or two things from the caller. That's to me. That's the essence of me listening to the program.
All right. And
it's
that's
not a matter of criticizing or this thing.
And that's good.
So one of our callers, I'm sorry to mention him, somebody Mustafa. I don't know him, but I look at him, somebody who's enlightened and educated enough. When somebody talk, I listen to it very carefully. He should try to listen to you, because he was talking sometime now. When he talked, the one side, he was talking about this refinery now. He just subsided, then he jumped to article, and that's why he based on. These are the things you want to who are enlightened to be very, very, to be neutral, because I don't know what to
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Your name, please?
My name is Charles. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Charles, you're welcome. All right, let's hear you.
Okay, I just want to make a comment on Atiku's case. It's when people come out on air to say he has lost and all that, citing various things, it sounds funny to me, because this is a case that is already in court. Why not allow the court to go through the processes and confirm that? When people come out, the server is this, the card reader is that. These things are not what we are looking at. If we want to, talk about integrity, if he has a case, he comes out with facts. It's only the court that will quash it. Say this one is not part of it. It's not part of the Electoral Act. This one is that one is that. You don't come on air to start saying he has lost the case already. I think it's a contempt to me. So people should learn how to make comments on air and educate, like the last caller said. Educate people, not coming on air to bring up sentiments on why you feel that, okay, Buhari has won. Atiku said no. He has the right to go to court. Let him go there and have his case thrown out, or have him given his mandate, as the case may be. So it's not when you come out, you say he's going to the server, he doesn't have rights, he has committed crime, he has hacked, he has done this, he has done that. These things are distraction already to me. For me, allow this case to go if he has enough proof for the court to say, okay, from your submissions, I think you have won. You won the election. Then, so be it. If he doesn't prove it beyond reasonable doubt, we continue with the government that INEC declared. But for people to come in and just give it away, it's not done that. That is my take on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. All right, let's go to our SMS portal now and take some of your text messages. This one says, Andrew, it's coming from Port Harcourt. Okay, Ibe Kachiku is the face of the APC, a party that have thrived so far and see propaganda and lies, a party without a blueprint and program to run government. Well, that's what you think, but then I wouldn't say that's what it is, because I think they have many a times given us their blueprint and a lot of programs and what they intend to do for Nigerians. From Port Harcourt, Sir Anhia says, Andrew, how can we not have fuel problems? The Minister of Petroleum is the president, who hardly have time to plan the nation's fuel problems. The Minister of State is in a tight corner and cannot take decisions. Let the president relinquish the ministerial position and Ibe Kachiku to act promptly and decisively. All right, greetings. The opposition party are saying that saying the Senate should allow all members to participate in the leadership of the Senate. Would they also say the same thing to their state's assembly where they dominate? Barimedum from Port Harcourt. Well, if they don't, I think you can remind them. The APC's decision on Gbajabiamila to lead the House of Representatives, to lead the 9th Assembly, is in order. Hence, the party faithfuls must adhere strictly to that decision or face disciplinary action. The party cannot allow the mistake of the 8th Assembly to repeat itself. Then Atiku should save his money and time and not venture into what appears to be an exercise in futility. Elionu Ndidi. He has a right to, if he wants to adventure into it, it's his money, not yours, so you allow him. The custom job, is it nationwide? Yes, I think it is. www.vacancy.customs.gov.ng. Andrew, Ibe told us there's nothing like subsidy, but engaged only an undercover recovery. So where is subsidy coming from? Welcome to Next Level of APC, Sonny from Ozoba. All right, Sonny. Greetings, Andrew. Regarding the presidential tribunal, Atiku versus APC is becoming so interesting. I never knew Nigerians still have sensitive individuals like this. Let's see how this will play out, because his facts are not just facts, but so sensitive. Carlton from Port Harcourt sent in that one. Son says, good day, Andrew. The employment by customs is laughable because the positions are already occupied by the rich and politicians, so the poor should not go and suffer themselves and die for nothing. As for PDP and APC, I'm suspecting that INEC worked together with the APC to rig the election in favor of their president, their candidate. So let Atiku go ahead and invite the experts to go through the INEC server so that the world will know the truth. Kenneth Davison Stewart from Opobo Town sent in that one. And this person here says, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu insisted card readers be used alone, right? Insisted a card reader must be used in 2019 election, but he knows the law does not recognize it. He deceived Nigerians to the advantage of the APC. Okay, that's how you see it. Thank you very much for your text message. All right, we'll take one more call and we are done. But let me quickly remind you that on the second half of the show, we are going to be looking at one very critical program that the country has been running for a while now, and that is the amnesty program. Reason why is because the current leader of the amnesty program, director Dokubo, has said that he's doing very well and has achieved his goals. And you know that there's been a lot of fights within that area. Some people saying that some leaders in Niger Delta are trying to remove him. Some militant group says they're ex-agitators saying they're trying to remove him. You can go on and on and on. But this is the angle we're looking at it from. We also know that at state levels, the amnesty program has been introduced to help stop cultism and get most of these boys to surrender arms. But my question now is, how long do we continue with the amnesty program? Should it continue? Has it really solved the problem for which it was introduced? These questions and more we are going to be answering on the other half of the show. You can go on our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, and drop your comments. Already we have it on Facebook, and the comments are coming out loud. Today95.1 FM on Facebook. Just like the page and drop your comments. Today95.1 FM on Facebook. As for us here, we'll wrap up the show right after this call. Hello, Today95.1 FM.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yes, you're welcome. Name, please.
My name is Chima. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, you have a few seconds.
Yes, Andrew. We are expecting resignation letter from Ibe Kachuku, which told Nigeria that in 2019 that if Nigeria continue importation of fuel, that he was going to resign. So I don't know what he's waiting for. I don't know why he's still holding on in that position, because he promised Nigerians that Nigeria was no longer going to import fuel anymore. So what are we saying here? Why
we'll wait for his resignation letter then, Chima. Thank you very much. All right, don't go anywhere. The second half of the show continues immediately after the news update. My name remains Ifeami Andrew.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeami Andrew. Now, the presidency has clarified that there is no delay in the 2019 budget process. Special advisor to the President on National Assembly, Senator Ita Inang, made this clarification while speaking in Abuja. Senator Inang said there is an existing law that allows the budget to terminate exactly 12 months after it was passed, which in the circumstance is June. He said the 2019 budget is going through thorough appropriation because of the new items introduced into the budget, expenditure because of the new minimum wage.
3, 4, 5 months after being assented to. Again, my colleague Oklewo had said that Nigeria is suffering and Nigerians are suffering because the budget has not been passed and because a few things have not been able to do. I will not say yes or I will not say yes to that, because as of today, we have the 2017 but the 2018 budget in operation, because the budget is 2017-2018. And while this budget is being considered, the budget of 2018 is still implemented because it was assented to sometimes in June 2018, and it is to last for 12 calendar months. Therefore, we are still within the period where there is a live, valid, existing and active budget, and every expenditure on projects, programs, salaries, allowances, and all undertakings of government is being undertaken on the basis of this budget.
And now the Nigerian senators rejected a bill that sought to phase out the use of petrol cars and introduce electric cars in Nigeria by the year 2035. Senators also rejected another bill that sought to open up the Nigerian citizenship to other Africans. The two bills were sponsored separately by Ben Murray Bruce. The senator told his colleagues that combustion cars were causing pollution and contribute to global warming, and that developed countries were gradually phasing them out. However, Senator Jibrin Barau said there was no need to make any law compelling Nigerians to use electric cars at a particular period. He said in view of the economic strength of individual Nigerians, it would be unwise to come up with such legislation. Also, the Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, while kicking against the bill, said it would affect Nigeria's economy as an oil-producing country. Our correspondent reports that Senate President Bukola Saraki put it to voice vote, and majority of the senators voted against it. And now the Commissioner for Environment in Rivers State, Professor Rosalind Konya, has said its report on the black soot situation in the state is ready. Professor Konya disclosed this in an interview with our correspondent in Port Harcourt. She said the problem of black soot is peculiar to different locations in Rivers State, adding that the situation will be addressed.
We'll be out. It's with the printer now. We've finished with it. We've made recommendations. And I am sure that as soon as we present it to Rivers State government, it will come out. Everybody will get a copy. Well, not a copy, but everybody will know exactly what it is. So I can't stand here now to start telling you what level of soot we are in, because it depends on the location. If you go to Element, the level there may be different from what it is in Okrika or what it is in Kula. That's how it is. So I can't give a figure here.
The black soot has continued to pollute the atmosphere in Rivers State despite protest by different groups in the state. And now the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been forced to delay decision on Imo North senatorial election. National Commissioner and Member Information and Voter Education Committee Mohammed Haruna in a statement said the commission committee that reviewed the election has concluded work. Haruna said, however, the ex parte order served on the commission has placed an embargo on further action on the matter. The All Progressives Congress candidate for Imo North, Senator Benjamin Uwajumogu, had instituted the case against INEC a day after it set up its committee. And on the foreign scene, 30 people are now feared dead and several others injured in the rains accompanied with dust storm in several parts of India, including Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Manipur. Reports say as many as 9 persons, including 4 children, died in Rajasthan as lightning struck many areas in the state. In another western state of Gujarat, 9 people were killed in accidents following thunderstorm and dust storm. Meanwhile, the Indian Meteorological Department has forecast heavy rainfall in parts of Gujarat for the coming days. And that's it on the news update. Thank you for your time and stay tuned.
I'm Tiwendu calling from Imo State.
My name is White calling from Bayelsa.
Hello, yes, this is Udwa calling from Akwa Ibom.
My name is John calling from Bayelsa.
Shamaka calling from Abia.
This is Toya calling from Bayelsa. I'm Divine calling from Port Harcourt.
With over 8 million listeners glued to this dial, why not take advantage
and showcase your product
and services to the world with rates that wouldn't break your back?
Visit us at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt, or our city office, 21 Orobon Crescent, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt.
Give us a call today on
0803 35 57 986 or 0810 128 2937.
We are your number 1 talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
Corruption is a dishonest action that destroys people's trust. Corruption takes many forms and can be interpreted by many people in many ways. It is hard to enter into any sector in Nigeria without observing one corrupt practice or the other. The faces of corruption ranges from political, universities and college, bank sector, the civil service, even the religious bodies. In Nigeria, factors like greed, poor youth empowerment, poverty, unemployment, etc. are said to be responsible for corruption. However, no reason is good enough to be corrupt, because corruption is capable of crippling our economy, raise poverty level, bring about national crises, as well as poor national development. Stop the embezzlement and misappropriation of public or government funds, bribery, malpractice, man no man, and treat all citizens equally today. A corrupt-free nation is possible. This message is powered by your premium talk radio Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Some people will carry human head in their boots and they will not charge them because they are collecting bribe.
When they go collect salary, then go say government need to pay them way.
All these taxi drivers safe. They don't even get papers. Even driver's license safe, they no get.
Hey you, back there. Hold on there.
Their cars are in bad shape, very, very bad shape. They have no ethics of driving. That is why they will continue to bribe so that they can have their way.
I will shoot you now. I will shoot you. Headlight, you no get. Side mirror, you no get. Motorway to better carry animal. Now you take put for road to carry human being. You never even wind the motor when rain they fall. You no get conscience at all.
Take, you be number 15. You be number 5. More than no forget on a number.
Let's allow them do their job. Do not obstruct justice by giving or taking bribe. Avail yourself a check. Even you, Oga driver, stop reckless driving and always update your papers. This information
is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM,
voice of the people.
Officer, give me change. Now 1,000 I give you.
Still your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, the news update at 1. The federal government is making plans towards the recovery of... Oh, they call my line again now. Hello?
Hello? What is happening? I've not been getting that desired result.
on my advert placed on radio.
You said you wanted a good place to showcase your products now.
Yes. Someone told me about Today 95.1 FM, and I said I should call.
Okay, just come to Today 95.1 FM. I beg, I read news now, thanks.
On my way.
Sorry for that break. Still on the news, Governor of...
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Here at Today, we bring you what you need to hear.
This is what they're going after. They're not going to
It has to be applicable to all situations.
No, it cannot be, because when the evidence...
Some people are not sure of 1 meal a day in a society with such huge potentials.
If a criminal passes that place, whichever means he used in passing, and you turn around to blame the citizen, for instance, people will ask you, were you not there?
Malaria kills Nigerians. Malaria.
News.
This is the World News. I am Annie Abdul Salam. In the headlines, Federal Executive
Sports
and entertainment. My name is Shubogu Najib. Straight up to football on the show.
This is Today. Every day, 24/7, 365. We are your official all-year radio station.
Wow, baby, I love what I'm saying. Let's go have some fun. Me and you together.
You have protection?
No, I don't have protection.
Have you checked your HIV status?
Come on, I don't womanize. I'm a clean guy.
Today, HIV and AIDS is a major global health emergency affecting all regions of the world, causing millions of deaths and sufferings. It is the leading infectious cause of adult death in the world, and about 19 million out of the 35 million people living with HIV globally do not know their HIV status. This has led to delayed treatments, spread of the virus, wrong decisions about their health, and ultimately death. You cannot protect yourself or the health of others if you don't know what to look out for. Be informed about your health and your future. Be responsible about your sex life. Get tested and know your status today. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Yesterday, like every other day, I had it all, but now it's all gone.
Crying out loud, why should you leave me at this point in time?
Oh my God.
In my life now. How could it do a thing like that to me? What on earth did I do to this?
Suicide is a practice that is fast gaining dominance in Nigeria. Suicide is the intentional act of taking one's life. Within the first quarter of 2017 alone, many Nigerians have subscribed to suicide as a means to escaping depression, severe anxiety, acute stress, terminal diseases, lack of money or hope for survival, mental disorder, or even a heartbreak. The World Health Organization revealed that no fewer than 1 million people die annually from suicide, which represents a global mortality rate of 16 people per 100,000, or 1 death in every 40 seconds. It is also a fact that approximately 10 to 20 million people attempt suicide every year. But is anything worth dying for?
Oh my God.
Suicide is a major public health concern, but it is preventable. Talk to someone when you feel depressed. You can also prevent others from a suicide attempt by contacting the Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative on 080-621-06493 or 080-921-06493. Choose to live today because life is beautiful. This message is powered by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Thomas Edison, who lived from 1847 to 1931, was quoted as saying in 1890 that non-violence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Encourage peace in the city and report violence. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not harm. Thou shalt not be violent. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Every day on Today 95.1 FM, there's always an opportunity to comment and air your views on our various programs. It's not just about us, it's about you, your opinion, and your voice.
President, don't you think that it's time to step down, sir?
Be part of the story, the gist, reactions, intrigues, and the news.
President Neil Patrick Harris has called for greater regulation.
Give us a feedback or join the conversation on Twitter at TodayFM951. Our Facebook address is Today95.1 FM, or join us on the number 0701 933 9962. That's our WhatsApp application. Be informed, be educated, and have fun. We are Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon and welcome back to the other half of today's hustle on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. 16 minutes past 2 o'clock is what the time is. And my name is Afemi Andrew. On this half of the show, our focus is going to be on what I said earlier, which is also very touching and interesting to every single one of us. It involves every single person. And, well, as we all know, the government has been spending a lot of money on amnesty. That has been ongoing. And it has involved taking a lot of ex-agitators out of the country, train them, schools, give them skills, come back, try to, reintroduce them to society. And they've been also placed on monthly stipends to get them going. And this was done, I think, for those who may not know, by late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua. He actually got that deal done with regards to the increasing rate of unrest in the Niger Delta region. And the aim was to reduce the unrest in the region. And then the president offered an unconditional pardon and cash payments to rebels who agreed to lay down their arms and assemble at screening centers. The government at the time was targeting up to 10,000 militants whose attacks in the 6 Niger Delta states have cost the country a third of its oil production. Well, lately, it has been very peaceful in the Niger Delta region. At least we've not had too many attacks or any attacks at all. The militant groups have, even though some of them have come out to threaten at different times, we've still not had the kind of attacks that we used to have, or I don't think we've had any sizable one thus far. And now state governments also copied this and decided to give amnesty to cultists. I think it happened in Bayelsa State. I think in Rivers State as well. They were asked to surrender arms. It happened. I think it's happened in Imo State as well. And a couple of other states where they have tried to use this method to grant pardon to people who have perpetrated one crime or the other. And The aim is to reduce unrest and see that we have relative peace in whatever region they practice the amnesty program. It also has a ripple effect because some other people now are saying it's almost like you're paying people who break the law for breaking the law. Some people say it makes it look like the government is scared of what might happen if these people continue. Hence, they don't deal with the situation head on and choose this method. And other people ask the question and say, if this is going to happen, what about other people who are law-abiding, who work day and night, who try to earn an honest living? These people, or this category of people, don't often and on get the government's attention. So some people are of the school of thought that the amnesty program, whether it's for ex-agitators or for cultists or for criminals, if you want, name it however you want to put it, tends to encourage people to go into that. Because there's also the argument that, think about it, if it just looked like what drags the government's attention to you is when you carry arms, it would just mean that any group can come out tomorrow, like we have a lot of groups now with different names, come out and begin to carry out attacks, and then the government calls and say, okay, amnesty. And when you don't pay, I remember in Port Harcourt, if you remember vividly, when ex-agitators were owed for a few months, I remember very well at the University of Port Harcourt, that happened. They came out of the street, harassed, raped, destroyed properties and all of those. And it forced us to ask the question, how long are we going to continue paying amnesty? And is it right to be giving amnesty even to cultists? And these questions have been going on and on in the minds of people. So we've decided to bring it up here. What value, what importance would this be? Amnesty as a program given to ex-agitators and to cultists, has it really done more good? Do we scrap it? When do we stop the amnesty program? Should it be stopped? Because I've met a couple of people who went through the program, ex-agitators, who have also said they went through this program, came back, and still the system in the country cannot allow you even work. There is no company to go to. Despite the skill you've acquired, you can't get a job because there's no one available for you to get. And then all of this, even if you learn a trade, you need huge capital to begin to, or you need capital, I wouldn't say huge, but you need capital to start off, and you don't get that as well. So many complaints coming. So I said, I'm asking now, the amnesty program, would it ever come to an end? Or would it continue because of the fear of what might happen if we stop paying? And amnesty being given to cultists, is it the right thing to do? Is that how to handle that sort of problem in society? These are the questions that I would like you to react to. You can get on social media, Facebook, Today95.1 FM, and drop your comments. Would really love to hear what your thoughts are. The new amnesty head, Dokubo, has said that he's making progress and is going close to achieving his goals, and is comfortable with that. And it still brings us to ask the question: how many of this amnesty program beneficiaries, amnesty beneficiaries, can we say have gone into the system, acquired skill, and are now independent, working in society and giving back? What's the percentage like? What's the percentage like? Because when they've been owed for a while, we get protests come out. Solving the unrest in the Niger Delta region, is the amnesty program the answer? Now the cry has been resource control, restructuring. But then that wasn't the cry before. Amnesty came and we forgot to talk about the basic thing that we needed, that was needed, if it was, to change the story or the narrative of the region. If amnesty continues, does it give us the power or the voice to stand and say we need to have resource control? We need to have some form of restructuring with regards to the natural resources that is being lifted from this region. As long as amnesty is in place, does it give us a voice to be able to speak and say, this is what we need. Is the amnesty actually solving the problem or compounding the problem and then making it more like we flog you and you can't cry situation? A mother beats a child and says, don't cry. Is that what it makes it look like? Has it really solved the issues? Has it reduced the insecurity problem? Has it reduced the cultism problem that we have? If it hasn't, why do we still carry on with it? And if it has, what ways are we looking at improving on that to see that it accommodates more people and reintegrate them into society? And those people who aren't cultists, who aren't involved in one crime or the other, who aren't ex-agitators, those set of people, what attention is the government giving to them so that they don't begin to feel that you need to carry weapons before you can get attention from the government? These questions we need you to react to. So on Facebook, you can drop your comments, but you can call us live in the studio now, 0817-00-00951 or 0810-951-0951. Like I said, we tried it in River State, we tried it in Bayelsa State. Have we had cultism solved in those states yet? I think we tried it in Imo State. Have we had cultism solved? Well, let's hear what your thoughts are. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. You have 1 minute. Okay, go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah. For amnesty, for crime to leftist Niger Delta, since they have started paying amnesty, they should pay every youth that amnesty. Because if you pay some and leave some, the other ones to go and carry gun. So they should decide to settle every youth. As long as they are a citizen of Niger Delta, a youth, you are attached of that amnesty, the crime will go down.
All right, thank you very much. Is it possible to pay every youth like he suggested? Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, Andrew.
You're welcome, Lawson.
Yes. Now, see.
How is Yenegua, by the way?
You understand? Started this amnesty program. He had a plan. You understand? It was the reason why he came up with it was to pay these boys to keep them away from, you understand, the area, so that he would develop the Niger Delta area. It was a two-phase thing, but unfortunately he died. And when Jonathan took over, the development part, you understand, was not left. Rather, concentration was on paying the boys. You understand? And see, let me tell you, when a country decides to reward criminality, you understand, at the end of the day, you are simply encouraging it. Look at the agitators, the so-called agitators. Who are they? What have they sacrificed? Look at the early agitators like Isaac Borough. Look at Kensaro Wiwa. These are people who committed class suicide. These are people who Kensaro Wiwa. He was in the corridors of power. He could have easily continued. He left all of that to fight for the Niger Delta. You understand? And they took nothing for themselves. Isaac Borough, as that in the 1940s, his father was an headmaster. Himself was a big lad student in University of Isuka. In the level he got to. So when you look at it, these are people, the early agitators, they sacrificed. They took nothing for themselves. These ones, what are they agitating for? For their stomach. And the moment you don't bring it, the moment you don't give them, problem will start. You understand? Besides, the program had a terminal date. When it was time for the government to terminate it, they refused. Do you know that, Andrew? Even the ones that have gone to acquire skills. Okay, you have acquired skills. This is a job. It's 50-something thousand, 40-something thousand. They don't accept it because they are being paid money free. Where have you heard that people who committed, for me as far as I'm concerned, they are fighting for themselves.
All right.
They are not fighting for the Niger Delta.
Thank you, Lawson.
When you begin to reward criminality, this is what you are going to get.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lawson. We have to interrupt you 1 minute. That's the most we're giving you, so we can take more calls. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello.
You're welcome. Your name, please, and where you're calling me from.
This is ID.
All right, IB, go ahead.
You see, the simple truth is, when we granted this amnesty, was to pave the way for the government milk the Niger Delta. That is my own view. To milk the Niger Delta. Now, after milking the Niger Delta, what do you bring to stop the amnesty program? Nothing. Just of recently, the Vice President, Yemi Osibajo, came here to tell us that to bring a modular refinery. The modular refinery could have eased out the debate to the Niger Delta militant. But nothing. Up to this very moment, nothing. It's going to make the economy clean so that it will elevate some of the militants to go and acquire themselves from little job. Up to this very moment, the economy cleanup is something of the media. You see, what are these people looking at from the Niger Delta? They should go for resource control so that these boys who can able to put these boys on the areas they have so that we can have this amnesty program stopped. We don't need this amnesty program. I don't like it. I don't like a system where you begin to pay people money.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. All right, now we speak with a guest as a security expert, ex-Colonel Awunda. He will be speaking with us on the show, and the aim is to get his own views from a security perspective. How important or how relevant is the amnesty program? Should we continue? Should it be scrapped at any level that we've tried it, from federal to state level? Right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Habitat is the bash at Habitat Hotel and Resort. This is the season. Party, fun, comedy, live band, dance, game, and special dishes this season. Our relaxation package is mouth-watering. Don't miss any of this year's Easter shows on Friday night at Signature Lounge. We will thrill you with lots of wonderful experience. Join A-list musicians and comedians on Easter Sunday, 21st of April, and Easter Monday, 22nd of April for the best of entertainment. Give your family a lifetime treatment at our restaurant, swimming pool, spa, and a lot of games. Don't be told. Habitat Hotel and Resort, located at number 5 Habitat Driveway, Roma Logo, is ready to treat you as a king and queen. 20% discount on all our room categories. You're welcome. For more information, call 0806 473 3100 or 0806 473 7039. Habitat Hotel and Resort. Hospitality redefined.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, welcome back. Still today's hustle, and we're talking about the amnesty program. We tried at the federal level, and it's been tried at the state level too. Courtists have been given amnesty at one point or the other, and the big question has been: has this solved the problem of the region? Should we continue with it? Should there come a time where we decide to stop it? How can we go about those? And what is the importance of the amnesty program to the Niger Delta region? That's what we're discussing on, and I'll be talking with our guest who has been retired military personnel in the person of ex-Colonel Awunda. He would be talking with us, and we'll be welcoming your text messages. Send it to 0701 933 9962. We'll be right back. We're still trying to get in touch with our guest. As soon as we do, we would have him contribute on the show. But let's get back to our phone lines and hear what you have to say. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon, my brother Andrew.
Good afternoon.
PS Lieutenant.
All right, you're welcome.
My opinion is that I am challenging the press on this issue. Let us invite all of these agitators, their leaders. They should come and tell Niger Delta how many of these boys embrace amnesty under them. what they have been taught, what they have learned, and what they are doing now currently. We want to know.
Okay.
That is my own opinion.
All right, thank you for that task. And I'm pretty sure we're welcome to take it. All right, the phone lines are still very open, but don't forget that you can go on social media and also drop your comments. Today 95.1 FM. We'll be taking your comments shortly. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew.
I'm very fine, thank you. Your name, please?
Yes, I'm Mr. John.
Mr. John.
From Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
Concerning amnesty, just a temporal measure. That was what it was from the beginning. But now, government over the years have now made it as a permanent solution. But it's not. The problems are still there. So I still believe that it was meant to be a temporal measure.
Okay.
And Jonathan made a very big mistake. He was the president from this area. At least he would have done things, to pacify the people of Niger Delta. But he missed that opportunity. But then the current government should do something in the Niger Delta area as to make the people at least happy, and be carried along. Thank you. That's my contribution.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello to the 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Hello.
Good day. My name is Tamno.
Okay, Tamino,
Hello?
You're welcome. You're welcome, Tamino. Go ahead.
Okay. On this agitation and amnesty issue, I think the federal government should continue to pay, because I am using myself as an example. I had work under Total with another company that had a rig, and even the doctor that was sent to certify us medically fit was shocked at the number of rivers indigenes that were chosen for the job. He said the number was significantly low, and the company that owned the oil well was resided in River State. So we aren't giving enough opportunities to work. How wouldn't there be agitations? Before I knew it, even I didn't work up to 2 weeks, and we were knocked off the job, and different people were brought in to do the job. So I think since the youth don't have enough opportunities to work, the federal government has no other choice but to pay till they find.
But don't you think the amnesty program is more short-term than long-term? Like, it doesn't really solve the problems of the region, which originally the agitators were talking about and complaining about. They were complaining about the fact that the Niger Delta was left to decay when its resources are being tapped to feed the nation, and that was what resulted in all of this. But then they wanted resource control, they wanted restructuring, they wanted more attention given to the Niger Delta. But then we got the amnesty program, and we really don't seem to be clamoring for those like we used to. Don't you think then the amnesty program is more short-lived, should be more short-lived than long-term?
No, it should be a long-term thing, because I'm assuring you, more people are adding to the unemployment ratio in River State and the Niger Delta as a whole. So I think it should continue, because the more the youth pile up, it's going to cause more and more problems.
Okay, all right then, no problem. Thank you very much. Hello to the 95.1 FM.
Yeah, hello.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mufasa, go ahead.
Yes, you see, I've always maintained that when abomination stays too long in a community, it becomes a way of life. You see, and to that extent, you see, when you say amnesty, we have a way of, making a mockery of sweet English language, okay? Because amnesty, to me, should be given to people who are contrite, people who, have come out to say that we are no longer going to indulge in the life of crime and criminality. And then the government has considered them as, okay, I'm giving you for amnesty, okay? And now in the case of this Nigerian system, it was meant to run in safe, because there's what they call disarmament, reintegration, and one other word again, rehabilitation. Yes, disarmament, rehabilitation, and reintegration. But when the program now begin to, go through its phases, and at a time, the government has to create an office where you have a coordinator of amnesty program at the national level, you see people being paid for doing nothing, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I have a problem when you call these people ex-agitators. I have a problem with that, because what is amnesty they were agitating for They went into the creek
exactly
and
the point. Exactly the point.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't just come and say you want to be paid amnesty for life. I don't see why. I think a government with a very strong will should come and put a full stop to this. This is not what we want in the Niger Delta. They should create jobs. They should build industry so that you engage people. They should be productive. You don't sit in your house and be getting money month end and you say you are receiving amnesty. Now look at what they are doing now. Now we are having another round of court activities in River State. The next thing you will see that they are calling these boys to give them amnesty. For what? They are rewarding crime and criminality.
All right,
they
thank
should
you very much.
discontinue the program. Doesn't make sense to me.
Thank you very much. That's your opinion on this. Let's go back now to our guest and hear what he has to say. But then we'll be taking your text messages and messages from our social media handle as soon as possible. I was trying to get in touch with our guest. Hopefully we get him before we wrap up the show. Hello, good afternoon.
Andrew, good afternoon.
You're welcome. Your name, please, and where you're calling me from. Hello. All right, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I think the amnesty program was never a solution to the problem of the Niger Delta. In the first place, I want to tell you roughly now, has there been total peace in the Niger Delta? And the government is spending billions of naira every year. And one other worrisome part of it is that the militants keep on giving back to militants every year. Today, militants are being rehabilitated. Tomorrow, it is not a solution. I think what the government would have done is to industrialize the Niger Delta so that the youth will be engaged. Will not find themselves in idleness or anything that will make them engage in crime. All this amnesty, sharing money to them and other things, is never a solution. And it's
all right, thank you very much. What's the code?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Chima.
Chima, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, Andrew, I have never supported amnesty before. Yes. Why do I say so? Because you bringing forth amnesty. First of all, what is an amnesty? A pardon granted to a criminal. Now, when a criminal has fed the firepower of the government, they will not start to...
Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. With genuine repentance, you will see it written all over him. Them, there and them, amnesty will be granted to the person. Not whereby our government are the one begging a criminal, a common criminal, who ought to be behind bars. You are begging him for an amnesty. I think it's wrong, honestly. I never supported it. It's a way of aiding and abetting crime. It will make more people to go into crime because they will be expecting that government will definitely go to call them and will be paying them some amount of money, doing nothing rather than disturbing the society. What have we gained from agitator? Rather, people who are agitated are the richest people now that we are seeing. We see them everywhere. They are holding one position, political office, or the other. What they agitated from is for their stomach. It was not.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Hello? Hello? All right, thank you. Let's go to our social media handles. Facebook, Today 95.1 FM. You can also go there and like our page and drop your comments. We'll be going there now to take a few of your comments. Remember, you can also send in a text message using this phone number, 0701 933-9962. 0701-933-9962. The amnesty program, as we've had it both at state level and federal level, how effective has it been, and should we continue in it? On Facebook now, good luck, Gabriel. Wow, Bilo said, good afternoon, Andrew. I doubt if there is anything like amnesty in River State, not to talk of reducing cult activities and crimes. What we witnessed in River State is a mechanism introduced by a government to loot public funds and then increase cultism and crimes in the state. All right, that's from Good Luck. Rashid Richard says, if the amnesty program will keep the peace of this country, I would advise that it continues. Okay, thank you, Rashid. Samuel G. Seasman says, yes, this is an important question. The answer, yes, is it has reduced the crime rate. We should stop amnesty. Okay. Bala Hassan says, my brother, it's not working. Crime is in the increase. It's a waste of fund. And Stephen Chidima Igbudu says, there is no way cultism can be eradicated, since cultism in the Nigerian polity has been a means towards an end, gaining political power in Nigeria. River State as a case study. Cultism will be eradicated whenever our government at all levels are honest to their citizens. All right. Remember, you can continue going to a Facebook page and drop your comments. We'll definitely take them before we wrap up the show. Today 95.1 FM on Facebook. Today 95.1 FM. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Yeah, 95.1.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. My name is George.
All right, George, go ahead.
Yeah, about honesty, which we are talking of. You see, to me, it annoys me when people, it's a sort of preaching, that if government did not provide job for you, that you should go in for criminality. You see, it's annoying. No government can provide job for every unemployed person. No government can do that for everybody. Some people struggle, if opportunity come for somebody to be employed, they employ you. But to say that because of lack of employment, that is why people are going into criminality, it's wrong. And it's a wrong preaching. It's a wrong preaching. It's bad. I don't support that. If government don't give you a job, you struggle and get something for you to earn your living. I don't want someone to come and preach to people that because government is not provide job for you and you should go in for criminality. It's a wrong preaching. It's a preaching.
All right.
Which you are preaching to people. It's
Thank
wrong.
you.
Thank you
very much. Thank you very much. Back to our Facebook handle. This person here says, Bright Chinda says, the amnesty program did not in any way reduce nor eradicate cultism and other heinous crimes and hostilities. The amnesty was more like a compensation for criminality and belligerent behaved in our society, though its intention was to compensate those from the Niger Delta region where oil exploration was ongoing, to enable the oil companies and federal government have a hitch-free and uninterrupted exploration sequel to certain agitation of marginalization and negligence by host landlords and communities where mineral deposits are tapped. The so-called amnesty program even did more harm than good in recent times because some of the guys perpetrating evil in our lands today are doing it in a bid to also be accorded privileges like the likes of, you mentioned a few names, I can't take those, so that they too can have their place of recognition, again, either from the federal, state or local government. Unfortunately, the crime wave is not even reducing, rather it is increasing. Imagine the way kidnapping, which started from the kidnapping of white men who were oil workers, now reduced to ordinary kidnapping of poor commuters, journeying through either inter or intrastate shuttle buses. One day, it may escalate beyond this stage again. Who knows what phase they will metamorphose into? That is from Bright Chinda. And still on our Facebook portal, Amakri Baritonyeko Jonah says, the amnesty program in the state level is a big scam. What about the federal level? I think it's general. They didn't want them to be arrested and prosecuted. They're using them as dogs. At the federal level, what's it? Is it also a scam? That's the big question too. Kelvin Bochi Wobodo says amnesty program should continue and properly strengthen for better and effective result. What we witnessed in River State in the last rounds of amnesty conducted by the administration currently was a sham and scam project used to convert public funds and give the bad boys legal cover from arrest and possible prosecution from crimes that they have committed. Amnesty programs are done in phases: disarmament, training in skills, the reintroduction into society. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm Henry. Sorry for Obugo.
Go ahead.
Yes. This amnesty of a thing, me, personally, I don't like it. Because if they want to pay that amnesty, they should pay it the whole Niger Delta people. They should not come on the organization group of people and say they are amnesty to start paying their people. So if they say they want to stop crime, they should when they are paying this amnesty. They make a very big mistake. They should have killed those terrorists. Those people are terrorists. They should kill them all. Now, because they are the originator of this cultism now. These people now disturbing now. These cultism people. So the government want and make them they grant them chief. So if they are doing that amnesty, they should also consider people who these people kill their people. Nobody remember them at all. Even the police people that died, nobody remember them at all. So that's the nature of it. I don't like they should remove that issue of amnesty. Let them just go on there. Even people that commit that the government should keep that person immediately. So that's my contribution.
All right, thank you very much. Right now to our SMS portal, this person says, Andrew, amnesty program, why exclude Ekbaya youths, Uchebeke from Ekbaya land? Okay. Andrew, good day. Sorry to disturb your program. You're not disturbing, just make a contribution. It says, Ogechi Uchen, the lady that won. Oh, okay. All right, thank you very much. I think with regards to what you're saying, we sent your numbers across to the firms involved and they are supposed to call you. So they would get across to you. Lolo from Bakana says, good day, Mr. Andrew. The introduction of the amnesty by the Nigerian government at both state and federal level is a misplaced priority as it has done more harm than good in our nation's polity. A situation where those in the amnesty earn more than a graduate in the civil service. Andrew, those in the amnesty program are the ones perpetrating the evil in our society, yet they are paid monthly. The program should stop and the boys smoked out. God bless Nigeria. That's from Lolo. And someone says, good day. That is why I'm not happy with our leaders in this country. I go out every day working so hard just to eat, but a friend of mine is receiving good pay from government every month end, and he's not working. Do you know how I feel each time I see that as a graduate? Do you? Well, I think I do because I'm not paid as well. Bromo from Port Harcourt sent in that one. This person says, my name is Imaman Agbam from Umuacham, Mbaichie. And he says, in River State, the amnesty is for selfish interest, not for the interest of the masses. What about our other youths who the issue is that every youth now will be carrying guns any moment from now so that we will get paid 60,000 naira upwards? Sent in from Imaman. Andrew, good afternoon. You remember some years back when Mbiama Bridge was blocked for a whole day because militants were owed salary. I make that example. The government should scrap amnesty program. The federal highways have been taken over by some same boys. They were giving amnesty. Let this program be scrapped forever. Mr. T sent in that one. Ison says, good day, Andrew. Does this implies that if I'm not a militant or cultist perpetrating crime, will I not be carried along even if I'm competent? Mission Yonye from Gokana sent in this one. I wouldn't know, my brother. I'm not in the government. Since it's a criminally founded country with fraudulent constitution and government will always take to fraudulent approach. Evangelist Chigozie sent in that one. And says, of all the government has done for militants and cultists as regards to amnesty, monthly pay, business grants, training and schooling in the best places in the world for about a decade. And yet, it seems they are not satisfied and want more. When will it end? What about the millions of jobless youths and adults with no hope? What is the moral lesson the government is teaching? That violence, cultism, militancy, and brigandage pays? Tammy asking that question. Someone says amnesty is a key to perpetrate laziness. It's economically dangerous. And this person says, good afternoon, Mr. Andy. At the beginning of amnesty, I personally kicked against it, arguing that it means compensating a criminal, and now it has enriched them and causing chaos. From John Ikodudu, Fidelis Avenue. This person says, many Niger Delta youths are lazy. They look for cheap ways to make money, and amnesty is fueling this laziness. All right, let's go back to our phone lines now. Good afternoon. Oh, we lost that call. What are your thoughts? What do you make of the amnesty program? Do we get to scrap it? When do we scrap it? Has it done more harm than good? Let's hear from you. Has it helped to reduce crime? Is it reducing crime? Is it causing crime to increase? What is it really doing? Is it giving us a voice in the region to ask for what we really deserve from government? Hello to Today95.1 FM.
Good afternoon, Andrew, my brother.
Good afternoon to you.
I am Oti from Melebra Demo.
Oti, go ahead.
Andrew. I laugh whenever I hear amnesty program. I laugh. We the law abiding citizens. What is our own profit? What is our own benefit? This amnesty is just to justify criminality. That's all. That's how I see it. I am telling you, because I don't see the reason why people should be fighting over something you didn't work for it and you're gaining from it. I don't know the kind of government we are running. But amnesty, from day one, I say it should be scrapped. We are not getting any benefit from that. Better budget. As I talk to you now, I'm just coming from farm. How many years that go to farm to go to maybe one or two things that will benefit them, that will feed them for the day? No person. You can count how many years that goes to farm, that goes one or two things that will benefit them. All waiting for manna from heaven. When I did this, no manna from heaven.
Hello?
I don't see any reason why amnesty should continue.
Okay.
I just wasting our resources for nothing.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. All right, before we wrap things up, let's go back to our Facebook portal. A few more messages to take here. Endurance ND says, amnesty program is the cause of some of the insecurity in this nation. How can you call someone and offer him money to go and get guns? This is what these boys used the money for when they said to submit themselves. God day. And Meka John Bosco Annie says, good day, Andrew. The truth remains the amnesty program is not sustainable. Youth empowerment should rather be used, etc. Establishing viable business and compulsory employment should be given to those with the requisite experience. And Akere Barbo says, amnesty should be stopped. If not, government should pay those who are not carrying arms. Akere Barbo is sending in that one. Back to our phone lines now. Hello, Today95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yep, you're welcome. What's your name, please?
My name is Kelvin. Good afternoon, Andrew.
All right, Kelvin, you're welcome.
I'm
Talk to
calling
me.
from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
Yes. Andrew, let me appreciate you first of all for bringing to the fore this issue of the amnesty. I just want to quickly say that I think amnesty is nothing but an injustice method to law-abiding use of Niger Delta. You see, Andrew, I belong to the school of thought that is of the view that amnesty was just a conscious effort by the government to alter the reward system in favor of those who clearly have embraced criminality. Let me tell you, in this country, we now punish those that are hardworking and reward wrongdoing. You know, so I think amnesty is a tool used by the government to socialize youth into thinking that not until you bear arms, you have got no reward or attention from the government. Now, how has the paying of 65,000 naira to the various beneficiaries of this amnesty been able to add value to the Nigerian economy? With the enormous training given to these youth, are they productive? So you see, amnesty, we see a lot of graduates that are willing to work, some of them with good grades, first class, second class, others with masters. Yet the government will brand them as lazy. Meanwhile, you are busy rewarding and paying criminals in the name of amnesty. Some of them, come with the title that we are, what is it called, agitators. Who are you agitating for? Agitating for your own pocket, definitely not for the youth. And so I ask, what value system is the government passing across to the youth? Now, let me tell you, there is a new twist to come in Niger Delta, which of course is the rising profile of graduate criminality. Graduates are now seeing that we are abandoned, we are not recognized. Therefore, they are now sliding into criminality to get recognition, to get reward. This is quite unfortunate. This is madness in this country. If the government were to be serious with development, I ask, where are the industries? Where are the factories? What about investing in agriculture? What about encouraging entrepreneurship? So this is shambles. Amnesty is a scam. They should reject the reward system and give attention to graduates. And that was why in Bayelsa State, the governor of Bayelsa State realized and said automatic employment for all the first class, automatic employment for master degree holder, automatic employment for doctors, and all of those things. So that you now change the reward system. You give attention to those who are law-abiding. You place premium on educational achievement and attainment. So that you can now pull those who are seeing criminality as a way of getting reward. You discourage them.
Okay.
I'm not encouraging criminals and all these things. What is happening in this area? Do they all want us to bear arms or what?
Thank you very much.
This must be discouraged. Or else we all bear arms and take to the streets.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, the phone lines are still very open. Let us know what your thoughts are. Remember that you can also go on social media and drop your comments on our Facebook page, just like our page, Today95.1 FM, and let us know what you think. And the question I've been asking is the amnesty program. Yes, at the time it was introduced, it really helped to reduce the unrest. But did it also try in reducing the arrest? Did it also silence us from further pushing for what really should be done in the Niger Delta region? Many have complained we don't have refineries here. At least in Bayelsa State, we don't have. And the one in River State isn't really working. Seaports are not working optimally. We don't have these companies that come to tap these resources, having any of their headquarters stationed in River State or Bayelsa State or Delta State. I don't think we do. We don't have a lot of other things. The control of the resource, the monies that we get from these resources that are tapped from our region. This was what the agitations were all about. But now that we're collecting the amnesty, does it give us the right to still want to ask the government to do these things? Don't we think the government perhaps might be saying, we are paying the amnesty, and so those people we feel like can speak out shouldn't, because we're paying and we're training you and we're sending you abroad to a couple of schools, and which is good, but is it the way to handle the problem in the Niger Delta? And how far has this taken us backwards is what I want us to look at. And unfortunately, we'll have to wrap up the show. It's been really interesting. Thank you all. I wish I could take more calls and more messages, but I can't. We have to go. But you can join the conversation on social media. We continue there. Thank you very much. The name still remains Ifeemi Andrew. Good afternoon. Stay tuned for the news update. And today's hustle will continue tomorrow.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, and here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeemi Andrew. The Supreme Court has upheld the election of Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State. The court, in a unanimous judgment of a 5-man panel, held that the appeal by Segun Oni is statute barred. Justice Amiru Sanusi is the lead judgment, held that the case, being a pre-election one, was not commenced at the trial court within the required time as stipulated under the 4th Alteration Act. Oni had appealed the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which upheld the decision of a federal high court to the effect that his challenge of Fayemi's eligibility to contest the last governorship election in his state was without merit. And the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, is set to call Microsoft, IBM, and Oracle experts to authenticate his claim that the service belonging to INEC showed that he defeated President Muhammadu Buhari by over 1.6 million votes. The PDP candidate said this in fresh response to the reply of INEC to his petition. Atiku and the PDP will also be expected to tender INEC's training manual on elections, a printout of the votes of candidates from smart card readers, and a printout of the forensic audit report on INEC's server as evidence. And still, INEC has been forced to delay decision on Imo North senatorial election. National Commissioner and member, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, in a statement said the commission committee that reviewed the election has concluded work. Haruna said, however, the ex parte order served that the commission has placed an embargo on further action on the matter. The APC candidate for Imo North, Senator Benjamin Onwajumogu, had instituted the case against INEC a day after it set up its committee. And the northern community in River State have now raised alarm concerning the disappearance of one Abdul Salam 10 days after he was reportedly missing. Abdul Salam is a meat seller around Fruit Garden, D-Line, Port Harcourt, but disappeared a few hours after he reportedly visited Slaughter Market around Wuji in Obiakwa local government area of the state. Abdul Salam's cousin, Ismaila Audu, who confirmed the development to our correspondent, expressed surprise at the incident, which he said have already been reported to the police.
From Fruit Garden to Slaughter, this Saturday. Today now they complete 10 days. So from that slaughter, from that Fruit Garden to go Slaughter, now we come the final. We not see the boy in a soul in fair 22 age. So if they say here Sangana Mewa.
And now on the foreign scene, Sadaf Kadem, who recently became the first Iranian woman to contest an official boxing bout, has cancelled her return to Tehran after an arrest warrant was issued on her there. An arrest warrant was also issued against Maya Munshipur, the Iranian-born former boxing world champion who set up the bout in Western France and was planning to travel back to Iran with Kadam this week. The 24-year-old Kadam, who was in Paris, was returning to Munshipur's hometown of Poitiers. France Foreign Ministry could not immediately comment on the case, but a spokesman from Iran's embassy in Paris said he had received a request to confirm that there was an arrest warrant out and comment on Kadem's and our coach's decision not to return to Iran. And from sports, Bayern Munich has opened their first football school in Africa with the new facility located in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa. The German giant announced that they had signed a new deal with the Ethiopian Football Federation, launching a partnership which will involve coaching exchanges and the development of local players. The club have launched similar projects in Singapore, China, Thailand, Japan, and the US of A in recent years, but this is the first such school that have opened in Africa. Bayern's head of internationalization and strategy, Jorg Waka, stated that the FC Bayern football school in Ethiopia will allow them to get closer to their fans in Africa and to make an important contribution to the development of football in Africa. And that's it on the news update. Thank you for your time and stay tuned.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Sunshine or rain, through every terrain.
Everywhere I turn, it's football, football. There's your fairy tale.
So why not join in the action, intrigues, excitement, and fun?
Just doesn't get better than this.
Many stars have continued to shine with every ace, every race, every break, and every other sports there is.
Incredible stuff.
On today's Sports Live, reaching you from your premium news, talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
That sounds like so much fun.
Weekdays after the news at 3. It's interactive, it's engaging, and don't forget, your voice is priority.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. A very good afternoon and welcome to today's Sport Live, reaching you live from the stables of 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. It's Wednesday, the 17th day of the month of April 2019. My name is Manuel Chibuzo. I am the lands on the true striker with lightning shots. So this afternoon, the guys are very much right here in the building this afternoon. And of course, on Wisdom Obina, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Top Striker. Good afternoon to everyone in the studio. As always, it's my pleasure to make a return on the show.
I also have Emeka Dena in the building. Emeka, welcome to the program.
Top Striker, good afternoon. And of course, to the fans out there, very good afternoon to you. The Eagles are through to the World Cup with a game to spare. And not only the Super Eagles achieved such feat, the Eagles have done that.
This table you are shaking.
and of course, there's no better player in the world than Lionel Messi. Take it to the bank. Tell them I said so. There's no better player in the world than Lionel Messi.
There was a new team last week. Messi did not score against us, FC. I also have a library last video. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Top Striker. Really, it was a fantastic night last night to see the Champions League, and Messi did his beat, in the Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo on the other side tried to also contribute his own part, but I mean, it was thrilling to see the games.
And of course, on the show this afternoon, the Monte Carlo Masters, where the King of Clay is currently on as we speak at the moment. And of course, not forgetting boxing, where Anthony Joshua might need to find another opponent for the 1st of June bout against Jarrell Miller. And of course, on the 17th AFCON, we told you earlier, is currently on in Tanzania, where the Golden Eagles have qualified for the World Cup in Brazil and also for the semi-finals of the tournament with a game to spare. And of course, UEFA Champions League also comes up later tonight as well. We saw some installment last night as Manchester City and Pep Guardiola in their quest for quadruple will do battle against Tottenham Hotspur at the Etihad Stadium later tonight as well. The program is highly interactive on SMS and WhatsApp. You can tweet at us or chat or send an SMS on the number 0701 9339 962. SMS and WhatsApp is 0701 9339 962. On Twitter, you can tweet at me at Emmanuel 9001, at Emmanuel 90001, or at Emeka. Then I shall be opening the phone lines at some point in the course of the program this afternoon. Let's start from the world of tennis. This afternoon, world number one, Novak Djokovic smashed his racket during his frustrating 3-set victory over Filip Kohlschreiber as he reached Monte Carlo Masters at last 16. The Serb, who lost to Kohlschreiber in the third round at Indian Wells in March, prevailed 3-4, 6-6, 6-4. Djokovic also threw his racket into the crowd as he struggled to close out the match. British number 2 Cameron Norrie earlier reached the second round. Norrie beat France's Adrian Manarino 6-4, 6-3 to set up a meeting with Hungary's Martin Fucsovics. And on Tuesday, three-time Grand Slam champion Stanislas Wawrinka faltered in a second-round match against last year's French Open semi-finalist Marco Ticinato after leading by a set and a break, losing love 6-7-5, 6-3 to the Italian. Wildcard entry, the one Mona of Spain also went a set and a break up against number 9 Bona Koric of Croatia, but was beaten 6-7, 7-6, 6-4 in the other round match played today. Argentine Guido Pella downed the 7-seeded Marin Cilic 6-3, 5-7, 6-1, breaking the imposing Croatian Serb 8 times. So while there was another upset as Italian qualifier Lorenzo Sonego won 7-6, 6-4 against 8-seed Russian Karen Khachanov. In the remaining first-round matches, 18-year-old Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime won 7-5, 7-6 against Juan Ignacio Londero and now faces number 3 Alexander Zverev. Fritz won 6-4-2 love, was 6-4-2 love ahead against Joe Songa when his opponent retired with a lower back injury. Defending champion Rafael Nadal, who is seeking a record-extending 12th title here, is currently up against Spanish countryman Roberto Bautista Agut. He won the first set 6-1 and is currently up 4-1 in the second set right there. Nadal has not played since pulling out with a right knee injury ahead of his Indian Wells semi-final against Roger Federer. And of course, Emeka also frustration on the part of world number 1, Novak Djokovic, against Filip Kohlschreiber. And do you think it's a sign that this man might struggle right there in the clay court season?
Well, whenever the clay court season comes around and Rafael Nadal is fit, every other player tends to struggle because he is the king of clay undisputedly. The tournament they are playing right now, the Monte Carlo Masters, is won 11 times. No other player has been able to do that. Apart from Margaret Court, who won Australia Open back in the day in the 60s, 11 times. No other player has been able to win a single tournament 11 times. So that tells you how dominant Nadal could be on this surface. But for Djokovic, yes, he's managed 2 wins here. As a matter of fact, I mean, it doesn't come often in winning, in a clay tournament where Nadal has had sway over the years. For Djokovic, we don't expect him to be dominant on the clay surface. I mean, he's only won 1 French Open title, same as Roger Federer in all the Grand Slams they've won. So it tells you that the clay is not where they hold sway, not where they reign supreme. Nadal is the king of clay. We all know that, but somehow, you expect him to give Nadal, if they come to meet each other, a run for his money as well, even though the odds are usually in favor of Rafael Nadal whenever these tournaments come up on clay. He's the overwhelming favorite when it comes to clay court tournaments. He plays there, he plays at Monte Carlo. He's also going to Barcelona to play. We have the Rome Masters and the Italian, the Madrid Masters before the French Open. So at the end of the day, this is where he holds sway. You can't take it away from him. So we expect him to dominate. Every other player will struggle, if Nadal is fit. And look at what he's doing to his countryman Roberto Bautista Agut. It's already a no contest. 6-1 in the first set, 4-1 in the second set. Even though it's deuce right there, he's broken him twice already in that second set. So we're looking forward to a straight set victory there for Rafael Nadal.
And of course, Wisdom, everybody has tipped Nadal as the odds-on favorite for this tournament. And owing to his injury record recently, how far do you see Nadal progressing?
Well, I think he'll go really far. The only thing being, we might get to see a surprise. That's what it should be. Outside a surprise coming through, everyone expects Nadal to. He's the overwhelming favorite. Even Novak Djokovic has even confirmed that himself en route to the beginning of the Monte Carlo Masters. I think one thing we all are clear about is that it's the clay season. We tend to give excuses to some people. Maybe Djokovic is not his best court and all that, even if he has also had some very little successes too in the Monte Carlo Masters. But we hope to see how it pans out. I think except something comes up, maybe one Felix Auger Alisime somewhere.
He's out already.
Someone decides to shock him. Maybe it's Zverev. Of course, it looks like Nadal might just be going all the way. If you want to even use this matchup as an example, you look at how Bautista Agut progressed en route to this game and see how Nadal is taking him out completely. You just want to look at this and give Nadal maybe still the top favorite to actually pick up this one.
Okay, have any updates coming up from us?
Yeah, lots of games decided already today. Earlier today, Daniel Medvedev advanced to the next round with a stress test victory over Radu Albiol, 6-1, 6-2. He won there. Pierre Hugues also beat Ken Nishikori. That looks like an upset, 7-5, 6-4. Nishikori out of the tournament. We have Stefano Tsitsipas progressing to the third round there. He won against Mikhail Kukushkin, 6-3, 7-5. The man you talked about earlier, Taylor Fritz, is also through to the next round. He beat Diego Schwartzman 6-4, 6-2, and of course Alisime is out, beaten by Alexander Zverev in straight set, 6-1, 6-4. Jan-Lennart Struff is on court with Grigor Dimitrov, and Dimitrov took the first set via tiebreak 7-6, and the second set right now.
And of course, thank you so much for the update. Relance, should we expect surprises? And if yes, from who?
Well, it's difficult to call. I think anybody that should give Nadal, who has been tipped already as being the overwhelming favorite in this particular tournament, a fight or a run for his money should be a certain Djokovic, as it is. And then probably you might talk about Alexander Zverev, but I think inconsistency has also been part of his problems. Recently, even if he's been tipped as one of the next generation in the world of tennis. And then it's difficult. Ken Nishikori is already out, and I think Marancelli is also already out. So as it is now, having these big guns, supposed big guns, going out of the tournament in just the first round tells you how much it is. And as it is right now, Rafael Nadal doesn't look like someone who is going to slow down, for anybody. So at this point, it's difficult to call if there's going to be any upset. But the likes of Alexander Zverev should be able to, give us a surprise anytime.
Top striker, don't look beyond Dominic Thiem. Last year in the clay court season, he won one of the Masters. I think it was the Rome Masters he got last year. And he's playing later today. His match will be
Martin Klizan.
Martin Klizan, exactly. So this is one man who has grown in leaps and bounds when it comes to the clay court season. Djokovic also admitted that recently in his interview while he was talking about the favourites for the Monte Carlo Masters. Let's see what he brings to the table. But these are most times flash in the pan. They come, they win one tournament, and they go underground. You understand? Especially when it comes to clay court. Everybody struggles, no doubt about that. Roger Federer won only one French Open. Djokovic himself only won French Open title. Djokovic has won how many Grand Slam titles? 15. Roger Federer 20, but only one at French Open. So it's usually difficult on clay, especially when you have Nadal fit. It takes everybody to the cleaners on a good day.
Still talking about Nadal, just in the course of the week, Jerome broke out about his uncle telling Nadal, his former coach, that he's going to be calling it quits no time. He came out to apologize to Nadal that owing to injuries, perhaps it was more like something they confided in him to talk about. He came out to apologize to Nadal that due to injuries, Nadal should be calling it quit in the next 2 to 3 years. He came out to apologize to Nadal. Is that any snippet that Nadal will be calling it quit anytime soon, owing to the consistent injuries he's always had?
I don't know, but for Uncle Tony to come out to make such comments, put it out there, before the whole world, I think it's a letdown, on Nadal. He did let his nephew down. That could have been a confidential information. Having worked with this man for over 20 years. He was a man that taught him how to carry the racket right from when he was a kid. Eventually coached him to winning several titles before eventually left him about I think that was last year that he left him, and eventually we'll have Carlos Moya in his team now and some other guys working with him. Yes, he might quit. Injuries have not been his best friend lately. We know that this man would have even surpassed Roger Federer's 20 Grand Slam titles if not for injuries. We've seen him miss Grand Slam the tournaments due to injury. He missed one of the French Open tournaments due to injury. He's withdrawn from Grand Slam matches, crucial stages, finals, due to injuries and all that. So, if it is, if he decides to quit, it's up to him, but of course it should come from him, not from his uncle. His uncle is not his spokesman. It's no longer part of his team. He has quit, as his coach. So he shouldn't have been the one, putting out that information there. But of course, one day he will definitely quit. How soon is what we don't know right now.
And of course, over now to boxing we go this afternoon, where Jarrell Miller has recorded an adverse finding in the drug test ahead of his world heavyweight title fight against Anthony Joshua. The American is due to fight IBF, WBA and WBO world champion Joshua on the 1st of June at the Madison Square Garden in New York. Henry said on Twitter of the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association VADA test, we have been informed by VADA that there has been an adverse finding in Jarrell Miller's sample collected on March the 20th, 2019. He said we are working with all relevant parties and will update with more details soon. AJ's preparation continues for June the 1st at MSG. Miller's co-promoter Dimitri Salita confirmed the news, saying his boxer would continue to train as they sought more information. We are in the process of obtaining further information about VADA's finding and will have more to say soon on this developing situation, Salita Promotion said on Twitter. In the meantime, Jarrell continues to train for his June 1st fight against Anthony Joshua. And of course, how did this news come to you, Wisdom?
Well, first, I wasn't too surprised it was Jarrell talking about Big Baby Miller. This is not the first time, although it's the first time in his boxing career that he's actually getting a ban or testing positive for a banned substance. In 2014, while he was still doing kickboxing for Glory, he was actually also failed the drugs test and was banned for 9 months in the process. But the big part of it is the substance he's actually being banned for, talking about GW 1516 is actually something that even WADA themselves have considered a very, very dangerous substance when it comes to sports and the way sportsmen try to boost their system and all that. That's what is even making it look very serious and making that fight look really, really like it's not going to happen. But I really want to feel for the boxing fans out there, because we know that Joshua looks like he's lacking opponents. I mean, the right quality of opponents. They are trying to bend a lot of things. They've already denied us of seeing him face off against Deontay Wilder by first issuing Deontay Wilder to get a rematch, against Tyson Fury, before they also both decided to split ways and keep the fight or pending, and all that. So I think it's a very, very sad news when I got to hear it, because now the question will be who is he going to be fighting? A lot of names are beginning to rise up anyway. So, but very sad news.
Let's not make any mistake about it. The fight is not officially off yet.
Exactly.
If you from what you read there, both parties say their men will continue to train. I'm looking forward to 1st June. There could be a soft landing. Let's wait. Now it's not official yet. From the governing bodies. Yes, VADA, the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency, conducted a random test on the 20th of March. They picked up samples from Baby Miller, and of course, they've returned. The samples returned adverse findings. Now, it's not yet confirmed by either of the bodies. Joshua have their straps. That this fight will not be taking place again as earlier agreed on the 1st of June at the Madison Square Garden. So we'll wait for further details. That's what both parties have said. Miller's party and of course at the hand of Mushroom. So we'll wait for further information. The fight is not officially off yet, but it could be off because we've seen stuff like this happen in the past. Once drugs once fighters fail drug tests, officially that fight is off. But now the information is not coming from either IBF, WBA, IBO or WBO. So that's the issue now. So we'll wait for further information regarding that. But that fight could still happen.
Now, should they call up the fight with Joshua and Miller? Who are the possible and likely opponents that Joshua can fight?
Well, another thing would be, will they still work with the June 1st date? It's already booked, right at Madison Square Garden. It's on Sky Sports box office. I mean, and it could also be on pay-per-view over there in the US. So who are will they be looking for an opponent on that day as well? Because it's just very close, about less than 2 months to June 1st, and if that fight is off, then they will look for an opponent. Will they be extending the dates?
Joshua,
are they looking for an opponent for that date? That's another question we want to answer before we even talk about opponents.
The Joshua Kalostakam fight was not supposed to be Kalostakam. There was someone that was supposed to do that.
Yeah, it was Kubra Pulev was supposed to fight.
So the date still stood. And Takam came in. So
if they work with that arrangement, then they might want to convince one of these yo-yo boxers that he will take away easily, and looking forward to the big one, because he cannot mention the Tyson Fury now. He has a fight coming up in the next few months. There's also this fight between Deontay Wilder, the WBC champion, and Dominic Breazeale, coming up on the 18th of May, right there in the US. So those guys are out for now. You look for an easy opponent. Maybe if they want to do something big, they can give us Dillian White, who rejected Joshua's offer initially. Or maybe, you talked about him, Carlos Takam. He's not fighting Joshua anytime soon again, because he has a bout with Alexander Usyk coming up very soon. So look for one dead body in quote now and give the man to feast on, and eventually wait for the big one. Yeah.
Who's no jockey this time around?
No. Joseph Parker have already said on Twitter, very ready and willing.
Dillian White in a radio conversation this morning also actually spoke of the fact that he's willing to drop everything he's doing to actually get into the ring, and he's willing to take that date without extending it
to come and get knocked out again like he did in 2015.
And of course, update from Monte Carlo Masters right there is over. Nadal has won that game 6-1 against Roberto Batista Agut right there. Over now to the camp of Nigeria's Golden Eaglet, where wasteful Nigeria under 17 side, the Golden Eaglet became the first African country to qualify for the FIFA under 17 World Cup in Brazil after a hard-fought 1-0 victory over 10-man Angola under 17 national team in their second leg match of the ongoing AFCON tournament in Tanzania earlier today. Olakunle Jr. Olusegun opened the score sheet for the Eaglets at the 21st minute of the encounter via a spot kick in a game that saw the Nigerians dominate possession 57-43. Afterward, the young Nigerians missed an array of chances even after Hussein Guza Kamangano was shown a red card on the 51st minute of the second half. Emeka, so far so good. Are you impressed with the team play of the Golden Eaglets so far?
Well, I would say I'm impressed with the results so far. 2 matches, 2 wins, and they're through to the semi-finals of the competition and ultimately to the World Cup later this year in Brazil. I'm impressed with the results. Brilliant one. The next game will just be a formality game for the team. They field some of the boys who don't start for the team and give them a piece of the action, knowing fully well that a draw will just guarantee them top spot in that group, and they'll play the second place team in Group B. But for the team play, conceding 4 goals in one match against Tanzania, I'm not impressed with that. It means your defense leaked in 4 goals. That's what it means. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make for good reading going over to the global stage there. They need to improve. But of course, they are scoring goals. That's a good thing. 6 goals in 2 matches, an average of 3 goals per game. Brilliant for a young side like that. I mean, this team could have been better if not for the MRI scan. Luckily, they did the MRI scan here in Nigeria. And of course, they were able to take away some of the players and all that. Imagine the presence of these 5 players who are supposedly integral part of that team hit before the MRI scan could have added more quality to the team and all that. But come on, let's make do with what we have. These guys they passed the age test, and it's assumed that they are under 17. And of course, I'm impressed with what they've done so far, especially with the results.
And of course, Reliance, you saw a last part of that game in the first and the second half. What should the team improve on?
I think they will have to improve on scoring chances. Not really scoring chances now. I think utilizing the chances created. We saw that game together. They had a lot of chances and they couldn't utilize it. And you also consider the fact that Angola at some point considered a red card. That was an opportunity. That was an advantage to the Nigerian side, but they couldn't utilize it. You expected more goals to come in. It hurts so much most times when you have a particular advantage over, most especially when there's a red card and you couldn't utilize it. Majority of the sport fans believe that is an opportunity for you to rein in goals as it is, and they had the opportunities to do that, but they couldn't do that. So if they want to improve, the defense should be shove a little bit. They should work on their defense as well, not to concede so many goals. Good enough. They were not able to. They didn't concede any goal today, but with what they played as it is, you saw when the Angolans were coming forward, we were sort of a little bit shocked with what they were able to bring to the table. So as it is, they want to improve on the defense as well as work on utilizing the chances created. They need to do that because most times they are going to go out here in the out of the African continent and play at the World Cup, and they will see other teams who are also coordinated as this, because you must give them credit. They are very much coordinated in their passes, they're understanding the team play and all that. There's this cohesion and this fighting spirit in the team. But what happens to creating the chances and not utilizing them? It haunts a lot in football.
Top striker, you see, creating chances or even converting chances is a problem we have noticed not just in the under-17.
Exactly.
In the leagues here, in the NNL, in the MPFL, all the club sides, they will tell you the same story. We created a lot of chances. They missed so many scoring chances. They are wasteful in front of goal. You go to the Super Eagles, it's still the same thing. You understand? They will create 10 chances and manage to convert one at the end of the day. Not good enough. So there's, is a problem, affecting Nigerian football. We have to go back to the basics to learn how to score goals. To teach these boys how to score goals from when they are still very young. You understand? Because if you go to the leagues, it's the same thing. You watch an MPFL match today, you see Ayimba creating 15 chances and manage to put away 2. It's not good enough. You understand? And they take that to the national team. Even those playing abroad, they come back home here. It's the same thing. Super Eagles. They create a lot of chances. Look at the attempts on goal, 20 goals scored. 2 at the end of the day, not good enough. Igalo could go 10 matches without scoring a goal, but in the process would have missed more than 15 scoring chances and all that. And it's something that we really need to look at. Our football, we are not getting it right when it comes to those chances and what have you. Because at that level, when you go to the senior level or play in the leagues right there, you don't expect coaches to be teaching players how to score goals. As a footballer, your duty is to put the ball in the back of the net. The coach will give you a tactics that will help you create chances. And once those chances come, you put that. Come on, Ernesto Valverde doesn't tell Lionel Messi how to score goals. No way. It doesn't do that. And no coach will do that at that level. So it's expected that when you're still growing up as a young footballer, when you're still passing through the basics, you should be able to exactly how to score goal is the duty of the player. It's a technical thing from the player's perspective, not the coach's job. So our players need to improve in that area.
With the World Cup ticket already in the bag in Brazil, and of course, I do think, which is some of your number one target, Wisdom, do you think the guys will take their legs off the pedal, or do you think, what's the expectation of these guys going further? Semi-final is already in the kitty for them as well. What's the expectation of these guys in the remaining games of this tournament?
I think first, if you want to look at the past, what matters to us most times is the global stage. Yeah. If you compare how many trophies, 2 here, 5 there, it tells a lot of stories. So one thing I normally understand is the coaches, once they pick up the ticket, they feel everything is complete because the title looks a little of worth, coming back to the country. So I think it's first a good one that they've qualified. That's the main thing, because I try my best to look at this as a developmental thing. If they end up crashing out in the semi-final, it doesn't really mean much. But one thing I think might make them maybe not get to win it would be the fact that they need to try out some players. I'm among those who feel some players have not gotten a chance. We're talking about this on Sunday or Saturday, and some callers were saying, why bring in foreign-based players when we can have home-based players? And okay, some of those foreign players have not even gotten a chance. The likes of Adrian Akonde are coming in from the bench. Some are even sitting down on the bed. The goalkeeper from Bournemouth has not also gotten his own fair share of chances. It was Sunday Steven who even helped them today with some beautiful saves too. So I think one thing going forward is the fact that we need to try players. If that might affect the result negatively, top striker, that might make it look like they've taken their legs off the pedal. I think I would not really be against it. The major thing for me is they need to get a chance to see those players against solid oppositions. It doesn't get bigger than the semi-finals because, of course, the best teams from each groups are going to be progressing. So I won't really take much into that. And just because of this reason, we might end up seeing them maybe not picking it, but who knows what, they could eventually get to the end and maybe pick up the trophy for the 3rd time.
At the press conference today, Mecca, the coach talked about a lot of these boys have not even entered the plane for the first time. This is the first time they're entering a plane.
When they enter plane, they go before. No, I mean, these are boys in the academy. They don't play. I think they play, in non-league.
He's trying to tell that a lot of them are not even exposed.
Who have the other players, in the tournament? How exposed are they? That's the question we should ask. These are under 17 players. like we said, they're supposed to be in secondary schools ordinarily.
Exactly.
They're not supposed to have flown to Europe, to go and play matches and all that. No. These are youngsters who are still greenhorns, who are still trying to come up in the game. The competition is developmental. Is to expose them to competition. Is to also develop them, see them pass through the ranks. From under 17, they progress to under 20, and before you know it, they're in the Super Eagles, and what have you. So the coach shouldn't say anything about experience. Nobody goes to the 17 tournament with experienced players. In fact, by next 2 years, you will not be working with this same set of players.
I can call someone I want to experience. Little Messi.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Where is it today? Where is it today? That is it. We don't want to go that way again. I mean, it's counterproductive.
Exactly.
When you use established players to play age-grade tournaments, by the time they're supposed to hit the prime, they have passed their prime already, and they are nowhere to be found. That's what happened, in the past, and of course, we don't want to go that way again.
What happened to the future Eagles? If MRI took out the major players in the team, what happened to the future Eagles under 15 boys?
Well, I think the only one I could identify in that team is that Divine Wachiku that came on in the second half of the game. The rest, I couldn't really call. I couldn't really see, major of them coming. So it goes back to the fact that we still have that progression problem, in Nigerian football, whereby we have this under 15 and they shown like a million stars in the last tournaments that they were involved in, and then we expected some of them, and if not, it can't be all of the players in the team, but at least a good number of them to be seen in the 17, shirt. But as it is, we couldn't find out. I could only identify one of them myself. I don't know if any other person could identify.
I think there are no fewer than 4 of them. They are from the guys who played in the youth games in Morocco.
They came second.
From the under 15, the future Eagles under 13, under 15. I mean, we want to see stuff like that. Now, if you say MRS is taking away the majority of the squad, go to the under 15 side, because they shouldn't have any problem. If they are truly under 15, they shouldn't have any problem with the age test. After all, they've been exposed already. They went to Morocco, played competitive football there, got silver, lost to Morocco in the final and all that. So they have that experience. Even playing on the continent, with boys as young as themselves. But come on, this is Nigeria. We want to win. There's always that fear that these boys are still very young. Their leg never strong to go play with guys there. Come on, if you look at some of these teams, Senegal, Mali didn't make it this time. They are defending champions. They didn't make it this time. If they bring out their players here, the Guineans, you'll be wondering, are these guys truly under 17? Because they are usually tall, look big and all that. So the authorities here want to also field players, who look physically, built up, so that you want to also have a good competition with the guys out there as well. So at the end of the day, it's neither here nor there, because the NFF, they are keen on winning. They have qualified for the World Cup, but I tell you, they will be gingering these boys now to go all out and bring back the trophy. After all, we have only won the under 17 AFCON twice. That's not good enough, considering the fact that we won the World Cup 5 times. So they want more laurels, so that they will go about the country and telling us what they have achieved, and all that.
And of course, the 12th semi-final appearance for Nigeria. And of course, the 12th World Cup appearance at the under 17 level for Nigeria's Golden Eagles. Let's go to the phone and hear what the callers have to say. We told you earlier in boxing that Gerald Miller has recorded an adverse finding in the drug test ahead of his world heavyweight title fight with Anthony Joshua. What are the possibilities that Joshua will get another opponent in case any of the bodies decides to call off that fight? And of course, also in the world of tennis, the tournament is currently on in Monte Carlo, where Rafael Nadal just took out his opponent 6-1, 6-1. Who are the favorites right there? The clay court season is upon us. Let's hear from you this afternoon. And of course, under 17, the Golden Eagles have qualified for the semi-final of the tournament right there in Tanzania and booked a place in the World Cup in Brazil later in the year. Keep the calls coming through. Gerald Miller and Anthony Joshua, there's a possibility that the fight might be called off because of an adverse finding in the drug test ahead of the fight between Anthony Joshua and Jared Big Baby Miller. And of course, the phone numbers are 0817 0000951 and 0810 951 0817 0000951 and 0810 for SMS and WhatsApp. It's 0701 9339 962 0701 9339 962. You can tweet at me at Emmanuel 9001 at Emmanuel 9001 or at Emeka. Then I shall be reading your thoughts live on the show this afternoon. Keep the calls coming through. Nigeria's Golden Eagles qualifying
for the semi-final of the under 17 AFCON in Tanzania, and also booking a place in the World Cup in Brazil. And of course, there's the big news coming out right there in boxing. Jerry Miller has recorded an adverse finding in the drug test ahead of his fight against Anthony Joshua, and the possibility of that fight being called off. Who are the likely opponents if that fight or that bout is called off? Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Dr.
Your name and location, please.
Shadrach,
welcome. Let's hear from you.
Yes, the good thing, I think they don't know. So, you see, they are first leg. They played 4-5, which they came from 9 to win both sessions. They were too like glamoring that defense is like defense, but at the match, they've setting up their defense and they're coaching what they want. If they keep this pace, they will go very far. But despite that, they didn't lose any match. They won some of the matches at the fight for Brazil. So I give them kudos, more to the elbows. As far as subsequently, they will have been experienced playing as together themselves. So at the end of the day, going to the Brazil. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shadrach Kamade, for your take on the show this afternoon. Keep the calls coming. Let's get to hear from you on your thoughts on Nigeria's Golden Eagles qualifying for the semi-final of the AFCON in Tanzania right there, and also booking a place in the World Cup in Brazil later in the year. And of course, also in boxing, the possibility of the Anthony Joshua Jerry Miller fight being cut off is also on the horizon as well. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, thank you. This is Jerry from Alu.
Jerry, welcome. How's your day going?
Yes, fine, thank you. And you?
Thank God. Go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. On that, another best topic, on Ugalu, the side another top striker. Well, I have to say it this way. That man, he will go 10 matches without scoring goals. And by then, he has missed 50 chances. That means, that man, if you look at the goals that Ahmed Musa misses, look at he miss now and then, clear chances. And others, you know that there's a serious sickness in the goal scoring department of Nigeria. And that sickness needs a serious attention. And I don't know if they're going to import expatriate medical coaching doctors or something to give it a serious attention. And however, I want to ask a question. Are we still the world leading under 17 winners?
Yeah, 5 times.
Are we still the champions?
We are. We are not the champions, but we have the most titles. We are the most successful team in the under-17 history.
In the whole world.
Yeah, 5 World Cup titles.
That's very good Nigeria has done in the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerry from Alu. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get a hear from you. Also, the Monte-Carlo Masters currently on as we speak at the moment. Rafael Nadal took out his man 6-1, Roberto Bautista are good right there on our screen. Blanc Ostrov lost the first set to Grigor Dimitrov 7-6, and of course Dimitrov this is the second set 3-2 right there. The games are still on. Who are your favorites right there? The clay season is upon us. Who are your favorites going into the French Open right there? Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. We can have more updates coming up through. And of course, let's go back to the phone lines and hear what the callers have to say. Hello, good afternoon.
Top striker.
Lawson, welcome to the program.
Yes, you know, even on national television, was it, I think, yesterday, you understand? I was hearing this from, what's his name now? Channel, where they were saying we are the most successful side in the world when it comes to under 17. I wonder why we say that even without shame. Really. Emeka is now repeating the same story, and when we know, you understand that we have been using 25.
It doesn't matter whether you use 50-year-olds to play it. The point is that it's a fact. Nigeria is the most successful under-17 nation. So whether they use old over age players, that's a different scenario altogether. They have not taken away our titles. So just get it straight.
Excuse me, Emeka. Please. That title you are going by.
I did not ascribe the title to Nigeria.
Hello, Lassie.
By winning the World Cup 5 times, they became the most successful under-17 side.
We seem to lost Lawson right there. Keep the calls coming through. Let's go to European scene and talk football this afternoon. And of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer admits that returning Manchester United to their former heights could take him years to achieve after their heavy defeat by Barcelona yesterday night. Looking to overturn a 1-0 first leg deficit in the Champions League quarterfinals, United started brightly at the Nou Camp and hit the bar inside the opening minutes through Marcus Rashford. However, they then made two mistakes that led to a quick-fire double from Lionel Messi as Barca took control of the tie and went on to secure a 4-0 aggregate win. Out of the Champions League and facing a difficult fight to make it into the top four this season, Solskjaer reiterated the scale of the rebuilding job. He says, "We know there's work to be done. I have said all along this isn't going to change overnight, and the next few years are going to be massive to get to the level of Barcelona. We are on with the job, and we've spoken to the players about it as well. We need to create an environment of top world-class attitude every single day." In the other fixture of the night, Ajax's sensational Champions League run continued as teenage captain Matthijs de Ligt's goal eliminated Juventus and secured their place in the semi-final. Cristiano Ronaldo, a five-time winner of the tournament, headed the host in front from a first-half corner, but Ajax battled level as Donny van der Beek controlled Hakim Ziyech's shot and slotted past Wojciech Szczesny. The match ended 1-2 in favor of the away team. It's the first time in 22 years that Ajax have made it to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Wisdom, let me start with you. What would United have done differently approaching the return leg against Barcelona last night?
Well, if it's the same United, I think nothing. Basically, if you look at talent to talent, I actually predicted that one would have ended maybe like 4-0 in favor of Barcelona. No, we know maybe regrets about it or about the statement. I think United are a little short of quality. What happened against PSG at the Parc des Princes seemed like a miracle, because it was even like something that happened by mistake, because we didn't even have the first team players like we had yesterday, on display. But going forward, I think first, Lionel Messi will keep showing those who feel that argument. I don't like going into it, because the truth is we are blessed in this generation to have Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. There's no doubt about that. But if you keep being on one side, then you're making a mistake. If you're for Cristiano Ronaldo and you think Lionel Messi is nothing, you're also making a huge mistake. If you think Lionel Messi is something and Ronaldo is also nothing, it's also a huge mistake. I talked about it that on Friday, in our show on Friday, that it will be Lionel Messi and the other 10. They just need 10 other players to work with him, because he can't play the ball alone. Of course, they would do greatly. But for Manchester United, let's see how it pans out for them. I think one thing is the lessons learned. They pushed against PSG. The man has gotten a permanent job. Would he be able to do it? We wait to see. But time will tell. He talks about rebuilding, which is one thing. People might be faulting him back to Jose Mourinho. The fact that Mourinho was talking about the fact that he didn't have players, at least in the defense, and the fact that he needed to rebuild the defense. So him now is talking about rebuilding the whole team. A lot of names have been coming now. Some United fans don't even want to see Ashley Young as we speak. They don't even want him to come back to any of their games. So we hope to see how it pans out, but I hope they have picked up few lessons. I don't think it's a terrible one for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer yet, if he has actually picked up lessons, like he said, about rebuilding the team.
Whereas if they need rebuilding, is Solskjaer the man for the job?
Well, I want to say at this point, Top Striker, if you want to consider what Solskjaer have done for Manchester United this season, I think he deserves the job he's enjoying right now, really. But going forward after now, in Manchester United, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him, because I think at this point it will be a situation whereby his really managerial tactics will come into play after the summer, where majority of players must have left the team, and then some others will be signed. That's when we are going to really see who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, because to rebuild a team is not an easy feat. I must tell you, it is something whereby you bring in players from different clubs and then try to integrate them to form a new team entirely, and that's more of the factor that set aside the manager to know how good or how bad it is. So if he can rebuild the team, it's left to be seen.
Emeka, for everything we want to talk about Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you just have to mention the man Lionel Messi. And of course, for everything Barca did last night, virtually he orchestrated everything. People were asking if he should have got up to 7 goals last night. But of course, do you read any meaning into it? But people feel the scoreline did not even depict how well Messi played last night.
He could have easily gotten a hat-trick. Could have made it 4. A penalty was denied by VAR. In the first half, we saw that one. It looked like a clean call. It was very brilliant on the night. It was always going to be brilliant. I mean, 24 goals now against English teams. no fewer than 5 against Manchester United in time past as well. So at the end of the day, I mean, he's always the go-to guy when it comes to Barcelona.
On a big night last week, he didn't score against them.
But they won away from home, and somehow they believed they were able to go and turn things around. Come on, Messi was fit for this one. Barcelona are playing at home at Camp Nou, where they have not lost in 6 years. In 30 games, going in those 6-year period, it was always going to be difficult for Man United to do the unthinkable. They did that against PSG. Come on, they knew nothing. They knew little about the PSG win. I tell you, it was basically a stroke of luck that they beat PSG 3-1 away from home. And they had lost the first leg 2-0. The manager admitted that they are not on the same level with Barcelona, that they will need to do much more to be at that level Barcelona are right now. The rebuilding process should start. If you look at the contribution of Messi in that encounter, Barcelona would have done nothing in that fixture without Messi. And he was just everywhere. He had a great game, and you expect him to usually do that. He's always doing that. 110 goals now, but of course still falling short of Cristiano Ronaldo, who has 126 goals, 16 goals shy of Cristiano Ronaldo. What more can we say? This man, like I said in the beginning of the show, there's no better footballer in the world at the moment than Lionel Messi.
But of course, Wisdom, do you want to say it was a bad business for Juventus to splash that money to get Ronaldo? Effort and futility, you want to say?
No. Well, it will be too early to actually put up that statement. But one thing you have to understand, and I feel the Juventus hierarchy would understand, is cheats not be the only way they use win ball. So the fact that you brought in a Ronaldo who has been scoring against you and banging against other sides does not automatically translate into a triumph. I talked about Lionel Messi earlier, that he also still needs 10 players to actually be that Lionel Messi that he is. The names might change, but he needs 10 players. He can't do it alone. A Ronaldo alone cannot be everything in a team. Yes, he's the dominant guy most times, but you can't completely rely on Cristiano Ronaldo. And most times when he turns up, one thing that most teams he has played for, at least Real Madrid at least, in the later stages, and most coaches, I should say, he has played for, is that once he comes up to the pitch, a lot of players turn off. The likes of Moise Kean believe, okay, he's the big guy there, let's allow him. The likes of Benedetto, who even tried, who was actually working well with him, en route to this stage, another, and even Paulo Dybala, who has lived a little below expectations. But I tell you, top striker, phenomenal performance by Ajax. I tell you, last night it was the game for me. I already felt United where you don't want to say it because you don't want to hurt some fans, but the truth is this was where the game was. I didn't give Ajax a chance, no doubt about that. I thought, okay, it was going to be tough for Juventus, but Ajax should be able to give them a very, very high fight, but lose. But Ajax have shown again that most times in football it's about teamwork, not individual brilliance.
Emeka, and of course, the last time they were in the semi-finals, they lost to the team that they knocked out yesterday. They seem not to be hugging the headlines the way the teams that lost the game are hugging the headlines.
Yes, they are underdogs. They haven't played in the semi-finals since 1997, 22 years ago. That fixture was the final in 1996. I saw that one. Juventus won that one. You understand? Ajax had won the Champions League a year earlier in 95, but they played in the 94 finals as well. So at the end of the day, they went into the doldrums. They became a feeder team to the European bigwigs. After the exploits of 95-96, lots of the big boys there left them. The one that uses glasses, Davis, Sidor,
Frank Rijkaard,
the Kano course of this world, they all left, you understand? And the team became an ordinary team, and they kept on struggling, to go 22 years without even getting to the semi-finals for a team that won the Champions League 4 times in the past, so they were huge underdogs. Even when they played against Real Madrid, they lost to Madrid 2-1. Everybody wrote them off. Well, it was how many score goals will Madrid win the second leg? Come on, they beat Madrid silly right there at the Bernabeu. And of course, they were huge underdogs, and there was a surprise that they have done what they have done so far. And a lot of people have not given them the credit yet. They still think it's a fluke. They still think they will capitulate at some point. They are up against either Man City or Tottenham Hotspur in the semi-finals. We'll wait to see how that one pans out. But of course, this Ajax team, yes, they played in the Europa League finals
2 years
against Manchester United. Mourinho's side won them on that occasion, but now this is a big stage. This is where they have made their name in the past.
There's been a progression from that.
Let's see what they will be able to do. But unfortunately, they will be losing some of these boys as well.
Frankie de Jong is
Mata is elite also. So
at the end of the day, you be asking for how long will this continue?
And of course, ahead of tonight's game, there are two games: FC Porto up against Liverpool at the Stadio Dragao, and of course, Man City up against Tottenham Hotspur at the Etihad Stadium. Ahead of that game, Spurs are aiming to reach the Champions League semi-final for the first time, but Pochettino says that City are still favourites to win the Champions League despite their deficit from the first leg, and he believes the tie is still very much open. And of course, Reliance, what are the chances of Tottenham in this encounter against Manchester City, who are wounded, looking at last week's defeat?
Well, they have a couple of chances as it is. I think it's very wide open, and then when you consider the fact that Tottenham have only won one of their last 8 visits to Manchester City in all competitions,